things more safely. Most people in cryptocurrency are apes, and they will do whatever they think they can make money with, regardless of the risk. And they're the reason that you hear about people losing all their money all the time. They have no concern for what could happen. They just care about, yield or gains now. They don't think about, well, what happens if the front end goes down? What happens if the team is malicious? What happens? They don't care about any of that. And they just lose all their money. So, Chris is one of the few guys out there trying to fight against that, which is why he's here again. Welcome, Chris.
Thanks, man. I'm not even trying to fight against it. I'm trying to, like I don't care if people do it, as long as they know what they're doing. Like, most people that do it don't know what they're doing.
Right.
And that's like, I feel like the service I'm trying to provide is just like to give those people the information so they can make the right decision. But
right.
like all the people who are just know how bad it is and how risky it is. And there's lots of them too, right? There's lots of them.
We're going to talk all about them. We're going to talk all about them.
Let them go. I don't care if you lose all your money. I take risks too. I take stupid risks, but I know what I'm doing.
I don't do that. I'm doing just fine not doing that. I mean, look, this is people's life savings, man. And if you lose your stack, real hard to get back in the game. I mean, depending on what percentage your stack is of like your earnable wealth, but if you've been saving up for decades, you can't lose your stack, man. So let me share this link on all my little twitter.com/RichardHartWin, t.me/Hex News, Richard's Calls, Hex Crypto, all that stuff. One sec. Yeah, that's what I'm working on. It's always a challenge. Like these Restream guys, they kind of got it figured out, but they don't really got it figured out yet. Like I shouldn't have to search so hard for all these links. It should just give them to me.
Yeah, agreed.
So now you guys will like hear me talking to myself. Oops, nope. Come on, baby.
This is I like this spontaneous live stream stuff.
Well, yeah, you're like, hey, let's live stream. I'm like, you're gonna regret you said that.
I don't know if you saw the whole thing. Like, I literally put on Twitter, and I don't know why. I was just feeling like
live stream. I'm like,
generous with my time. I just put like, what can I do to make you happy right now?
Yeah.
And then somebody's like, send me ETH. I was like, fuck you.
Stupid.
Sorry, you're on YouTube.
Yeah. Hey, you can curse, dude. I do not give a fuck about cursing. Like, please.
Demonetized, dude.
I don't have ads turned on. I don't let. You know what people that have ads turned on do? They feed their viewers to the fucking meat grinder of whatever scumbags can afford to advertise on the channel. And how do they get the money to advertise on the channel? By ruining your users' like.
I feel bad about having ads on sometimes, but at the same time,
you're not gonna make any money. You only make $3 CPM, and your views are only like 9,000 views. You make $27 a video. Who gives a fuck? Like
$100 a month. It's nothing.
It's nothing, dude.
But like, I don't make money anywhere else except through
I thought you didn't. I thought you were gonna do. Jesus Christ, you're gonna lose all your money, dude. Shouldn't do that.
What?
Trade.
Not trading.
Oh, okay.
But I don't even want
to
get into it. But I mean, it's like, yeah. I've been running into there used to be opportunities for me to get grants and to work with projects to develop content and
then you started teaching the truth, and now nobody wants to hear your ass.
It all dried up, man.
Yeah.
And like I used to get Gitcoin grants and stuff like that. Like that dried up.
That's fucked up, dude.
All of the there's a lot of stuff that I hear about secondhand that is intended to sort of carve certain people out of the equation, like stuff that goes on. And keep in mind, like stuff like Gitcoin is owned by Consensus. Consensus is obviously the monolith that powers Ethereum. It's all connected, so it's like and I said this after the first or second round of Gitcoin grants, it's like there's no room here for dissenting voices. Like this whole system is designed to be a vacuum, like an echo chamber.
Well, it's reflexive. By design, quadratic funding means the rich get richer and the poor get less rich. I mean,
Well,
I don't even believe in the concept of quadratic funding. I think it's retarded.
It's a very sort of like,
Hey, here's people that aren't qualified to make
Socialist.
decisions that are now like, I mean,
it's a weird thing.
would you want
Especially
your
when they added
hairstylist to?
negative. Negative.
Well, yeah, but they removed it. Believe me, I was looking very heavily at the negative, and it only applied to a very specific range of things you could vote on. I mean, the people watching have no fucking idea what we're talking about. They literally have no idea. They don't know what a Gitcoin grant is. They don't know what quadratic funding is. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. We're going to have to explain this shit to them.
That's fine. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, I like what you're talking about a little bit. I mean,
it's really, I've seen it firsthand, and I feel like I don't have enough information to just go out and sort of do an expose, but I can tell you right now that there is a sort of, I don't want to call it like a
cabal.
Cabal, but I guess it kind of is, of founders and VCs and, just all the big money in the space. That's funding all of, like, when you see these grants going to these echo chamber newsletters, and it's all sponsored content. Everything that's out there, it's all sponsored content.
Yeah.
And anything that's not,
So I'll take I'll take some counterpoints here. So first, quadratic funding means we're not smart enough to figure out how to divide up our own fucking money. So we're going to copy somebody else's homework, and whatever they naturally divided up their money, the public, then we, the stupid people who don't want to put any thought into choosing winners and losers and don't want to put any thought into anything and want to instead amplify what the mob thinks. Mm-hmm. But by the way, the wisdom of crowds doesn't work when the crowd can see what other people in the crowd is doing. Then you get mobs. The only time wisdom of the crowd works is when they're unaware of how the other people are fucking voting. But people are too stupid to know that because they don't read the fucking research.
That's true.
I do.
That's true.
They don't. So this idea of quadratic funding, where instead of being thoughtful about where you're going to spend your money, you're going to amplify what the fucking mob does. Terribly stupid idea. Terribly stupid idea.
That's a big, that's a big part of it. I think all governance, all DeFi governance votes should be blind, because like that's exactly how they all go. Everybody just follows.
It doesn't matter anyway. It's just a joke. It's just the same guys that would have made the decision in a centralized system are the same guys that own all the fucking coins anyway. And then they're the same guys that make the decision. Well, like this idea of governance is a fucking joke as well. So like, there's so much bullshit. It's fucking, dude. We're gonna have a fun stream. You're gonna lose some. You're gonna go from zero sponsors to negative sponsors.
No, I've already got negative sponsors. Trust me.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. Are we streaming already?
Yeah, dude, we're live, man.
Oh,
we're
okay.
live. Oh, my bad. Oh, we're live. Hey, yeah.
I just retweeted.
Yeah, they said I can barely hear Chris. I can barely hear Chris. Well,
hear
I'll turn my mic down then. Fucking crybabies.
Is it my mic?
Well, I mean, your mic is occasionally tapped. If you can turn it up, it'd be great.
I have gain. Okay.
Because I'm like eating my mic, and I've got every type of production trick possible.
I've got it up a little bit. Is this better?
Yeah, I just turned mine down. Like,
I don't want to go too high.
I turned mine down 9 dB to like make mine lower. Try again.
Test.
Yeah. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
My shit's like
Hello.
1 dB or 2 dB louder than yours.
Okay. Well.
But it's close enough.
What do you think about what do you think about NFTs? What do you think about what's happening with people? I haven't been listening.
I got a fucking story for you on that one. Okay, so now I'm gonna. I told you I was gonna mix it up this time because I'm always wearing the same shirt and I've always got the same background. I'm gonna show you guys some new shit just for laughs. All right. So we're gonna take off the Rolly, which has the wrong time set, so you fucks don't know where I live, and we're gonna put that in my finger monkey storage pocket. Okay.
Are you parts unknown? You're high offset parts unknown?
Yeah, exactly, dude. There's no reason for people to be like, oh, please give me money. Please give me money. No. Okay. So now the Rolly's living in here where I would love to have a finger monkey.
What is that?
It's a Louis Vuitton bracelet backpack. Never seen one of these before? I've got a bigger one too, the same size.
Did you buy that?
Well, they didn't fucking give it to me for free.
Do you wear that out?
Yeah, man. I get fruity with it. Okay, so we're gonna take off the rolly.
It's like worse than a fanny pack. Come on.
But you can put it actually anywhere. You can put it on your bicep. You can put it on your leg. Like, you know, if you're
unless
if
you're
you're
in
nude
like
beach,
Miami and that's where you keep your drugs. Like
if you're nude
I don't
beach.
know.
Funny story with that too. I bought like this Louis Vuitton like fucking little enclosure that like screws open and shut, and I was like, oh, this could be fun. You can't fit anything in that shit. You can't even put a single pill in it. It doesn't even fit. You're like, what is this fucking garbage? Is this for like old people's nitroglycerin medicine? I guess. I bought a fucking old people's Louis Vuitton fucking necklace thing. Maybe I'll put that on the next show. All right. So now, if you ever spend your crypto, you're going to regret it because it makes new all-time highs. I mean, depending on what you bought, right? So recently, if you ever spent your Bitcoin, you're like, oh shit, I could have sold higher. If you ever spent your ETH, you could be like, oh shit, I could have sold higher. So this here is an example, this $100,000 watch, of some shit you're going to regret. So if you pay $100,000 for a watch that tells the time very poorly compared to your phone, you're going to fucking regret it. But since I never changed my clothes, I never changed my background, well, this is a watch winder. You can program right here. And then it's programmed for this watch to rotate counterclockwise 650 rotations per day. Otherwise, you don't want to overspin it. You're just putting extra wear on the bearings because these watches. Up here.
Like, did you just tell everybody you bought a $100,000 watch? Is that what you?
I am in possession of a $100,000 watch.
You were in possession of it. What, did you steal it? Fall off the back of a truck? You said you spent crypto on it.
Yeah, I guess. I said, yeah.
You're an animal.
I try not to tell people about my fucking finances.
You're confirming everything I believed about HEX.
Bro, I've been rich and retired since 2003, 6 years before Bitcoin was invented. So, like...
How much of the OA did you spend on that watch?
Lol. What does even OA mean? I don't even know what those words mean.
I don't know. I don't really understand it.
Hold on. Let me finish showing you this shit. So this is a PATEK PHILIPPE. Now, this watch used to retail for 50 grand from the factory. But because they stopped making it, and all the rappers sing about PATEK instead of Rolex now, you can't, like, a shittier version of this that has no complications at all, the 5711, is like also 100 grand. Now here's what this has, and it's the same shape, except this is thicker, and I think it's more waterproof maybe. Like this is 120 meter waterproof. I think the 5711 might only be 60 meters. Not that you're going swimming with your $100,000 watch. So what does this do that is really cool if you care about stupid watches that tell time poorly? You know, this is rated for plus or minus 2 seconds a day. That's actually shitty compared to your phone, right? This thing on the back you see spinning, if you can see it, that's what winds it. So when you move, it winds it. Anyway, so
I don't know. I don't even know what.
We're done with this part of the show in 30 seconds.
I don't even know where I am right now. Okay.
It's almost over. We're only doing this to mix it up.
$100,000 watch winds itself.
Well, yeah. I mean, gravity winds it when you move around. So it's got moon phase. I don't even spend time looking at the moon. Not really relevant to me. Day and date, and also month. Yeah. So day, date, month.
Okay.
So like the Rolex Presidential has day and date. Doesn't have month. Doesn't have moon phase. So this is more complicated than like any Rolex you can buy. There's like one Rolex from like the 50s or the 70s or something called the Bao Dai that is worth like 5 million that you could get that has these complications. So if you look at the world's...
Why did you buy it? Why did you buy that?
Literally because like I don't ever buy anything. I never buy anything. So I never get new stuff. Like,
well, I mean, you've got all this shit on. You got the fanny pack, wrist pack thing. You got,
yeah, but this thing's like $400.
You buy stuff. Okay.
Yeah, but it's like $400.
So,
like,
so this was like a treat for yourself.
Well, yeah, and I'm going to regret it one day. But for now, like, you know, and I don't even, where am I even going to wear it? Where am I going to wear this?
What did you cash in to buy it?
You should never talk about your coins. You should talk about other people's coins. Yeah.
I'm testing you.
Yeah, there's no upside to it. So anyway, this is what a $100,000 watch looks like, guys. You probably should never, ever buy
nice.
that. Listen, you can hear it. You can hear it winding itself.
Would you like wear that to Walmart? Like when would you put that on?
I mean, I think the Rolex stands out more. So like if you wear the Rolex, people know it's a Rolex. They're like money. It's two-tone. It's gold. This is just stainless. This is $100,000 stainless.
Do you spend money on cars?
Nope. I do not. Okay. I don't spend money on shit, dude. It's crazy. I don't
either. I'm wearing a $5 t-shirt.
I don't fucking own anything.
I got this shirt for $5 and I wear it every day.
Yeah, dude.
I'm a disaster, like fashion-wise. It's really, my wife hates it. It's terrible because she's actually pretty fashionable. I hate spending money on clothes and jewelry and.
I got all kinds of beautiful clothes I can't fit in. I would like, if ever COVID fucks off, I'm gonna have to go shopping for 3XL sizes, or stop eating for a year or two. Just no more food.
You're 3XL? You
Yeah,
don't
dude.
look that big.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm lucky, but I'm a 3XL, man. It's no good.
What are you weighing in at?
263,
And how tall are you?
265, maybe sometimes. 6 foot.
Okay.
It's no good, mate. I'm closer to 300
that's-
than to 200. It's no good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm about 210 and 5'9", so that's not good either.
Yeah, we're fucked. Yeah.
We're all in the vulnerable category.
Oh,
Don't catch COVID, man.
Final thing on the watch shit. This shit only is going to go up in price. This has got
Really?
This has got fundamentals
it
behind
appreciates?
it.
Not like a
Yeah.
car, it doesn't go down, it goes up. Okay.
This has gone. Well, yeah, and then you can chart these. So there's websites that literally will chart you the price of various watches. So on a Rolex, you're making 3 to 5% a year, unless it's a couple models that are hot right now, like a Daytona all gold with the green face, or a rainbow Daytona, which I started looking at was 300, now it's 500. From the factory, you could have got it for like 100, like 5x retail. Fuck that,
Yeah.
2x retail on a
if you-
PATEK
if you,
that has all the complications is pretty good.
Imagine if you issued an NFT on it. It would be worth $1 million.
Yeah, I could do all that
Easy.
shit. I could.
Easy.
Okay, so let's talk about NFTs. I'm on Hacker News reading, and I'm like, I should have put NFT in the fucking headline. Let's go change that shit. NFT in the fucking headline.
You'll shoot to the top of the algo.
Hold on. Update titles. Oh, Christ. I got to type all this again? Oh, I'm not going to do it. Do it fucking later. Maybe I could just... No. Too hard. It leaves it blank to start.
I'd like to make a prediction right now. In
Good.
6 months, you're gonna be issuing NFTs like
I don't think so.
crazy. Like you're just gonna be selling NFTs for every chain around your neck and
Well, I
every
know how to
watch you
do it.
wear.
No, it's just like... People don't understand how crypto actually works. Like,
Collectible shirts.
funny NFT story. I see a thread on Hacker News where someone sold the Grumpy Cat picture NFT for 85 grand. I'm like, this is bullshit. First of all, I have a Grumpy Cat t-shirt. I don't like it that much, but whatever. I was in Australia and I was like, fuck, that looks funny. I'll buy one and wear it for a laugh. So I did. So I have a Grumpy t-shirt, Grumpy Cat. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to narc on this motherfucker, robbing this creativity rights person, So I go fucking on Hacker News. I'm like, yo, I'm going to report this shit. You can't be stealing other people's work. I tweet it. 5 minutes goes by, maybe 4 minutes, right? So I find the rights holder, this lady, Tabitha or some shit. Message her on Twitter, message her on fucking contact us form. And then someone hits my thread, she knows, look, it's on our website. I go to the site. She talks about the NFT. I'm like, God damn it. I look like a fucking idiot now.
Oh,
go to Hacker
promotes the
News,
NFT.
delete the fucking post, go to fucking Twitter, delete the post, direct message a guy, hey, thanks, man, appreciate the heads up. Because I'm just trying to see criminals not get paid and the rights holder get fucking paid, is what I'm trying to do, right?
You thought she was getting ripped off, but she was
of course,
actually
yeah.
promoting
I thought
it.
she was, yeah. Because I hit her site and I didn't see it, but then if I had looked better, I would have seen it, right? So... Then
But
I'm
wait,
just like,
this is like a shirt that was sold like.
no, it wasn't even a shirt, bro. The motherfucker that bought the NFT didn't even get a shirt. He got the
just
picture. He could have right-clicked the picture off the website, but he fucking instead gave the girl like 85 grand.
85
all right.
grand for what? That's what I keep asking.
Yeah, right.
Like, for what?
Yeah,
Tell
exactly.
me for what? The rights? A license?
Nope.
A
You
contract
don't get none
that
of that.
says you have
Nope.
exclusive rights?
Nope.
Then
No,
what?
because that would make sense. Listen, buying things that artists have created is a well-understood industry that has existed for thousands of years. That would make sense. What wouldn't make sense is duct taping a serial number loosely to that art and then somehow paying for the serial number and not the art. That wouldn't make any sense, and that is what everyone's doing. So, like, okay.
It's worse than that though, because there's no original. Like there's not like I started thinking about this today with people, like, and somebody's told me, like, I keep saying, like, what did he actually sell? He didn't sell a JPEG because you can't sell a JPEG. You can't own a JPEG.
Oh, sure you can.
So like,
well, that's what Shutterstock and
You
I
don't-
could list you.
okay, but see that's different because
Well, yeah, it is. That makes sense.
Shutterstock owns the art and licenses it out,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
They have legal agreements.
Right.
You have a license to use it in a certain way.
You know.
and they don't own the JPEG, they own the actual image, right? They own the actual image.
Well, I mean, you can restrict what types of forms you're allowed to use it in. So depending
Right.
on your license agreement, there's a number of prints that you can either use it personal or private. You can use it for promotion. Like they really have like a wide range of, like I think Getty Images might make like $1 billion a year, and they just sell fucking JPEGs with different licenses basically. So
Yeah.
selling art and making art is well understood, but gambling on cockroach racing, it's not as popular, but now it is. So basically, the internet cockroaches are NFTs, and people are gambling on them. So like my experience, like trying to make sure the rights holder got paid, and that a scammer didn't, but then just being wrong and not notice that the rights holder was, the person that sold the fake rights or whatever. It's like, oh, oops, my bad. Tried to do the right thing. It only lasted 4 minutes. Usually my fuck ups last 4 minutes. Like you're like, oh, okay, fixed, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, in general, look, when the bear market hits, and it will, NFTs go to zero first, and they should. I shouldn't have to spend any of my time explaining to people why you shouldn't buy a $100,000 watch, which by the way, so you know how long the reason these go up in price is because not only are they nearly impossible to make so that no other company in the world can make them, there's no other company in the world that can make a better watch than PATEK PHILIPPE. If you go to the most expensive watches ever sold auction, 80% of them are PATEK. So it puts a halo on the brand. You can't just inflate these. You can't make copies of them, and this model's discontinued. So you can't ever, it's just never coming back. So this has a scarcity, which is, this valuation has lasted for hundreds of years, which is called the Lindy effect. Things that have been around for longer tend to be around for longer. If you want to Google it, Lindy effect. And you can't just create more supply. And you can't even create more supply that is a substitute good. So for instance, are there things that do what Bitcoin does better than Bitcoin does it? Yeah, a lot of things. So there are substitute goods for Bitcoin. There ain't much in the way of a substitute good for this watch. Like it's so
Buy one.
No, don't. You'll regret it. Like it doesn't make any sense. You're like, yeah, I'm never going to use this. And if you bought it for respect, no one even knows what it is because it's too high. Like Rolex, people understand.
Yeah.
People, like if you go to a rich people fucking meeting and you're all checking each other's nuts, right? Because girls don't care about this shit. It's just like check nuts, guys shit. It's like guy jewelry. Nobody, unless they're really, really rich, they don't know about this tier of shit. It's not for sale in most places. Like they don't get it. There's no diamonds. You pay $100,000 for a stainless steel watch. What? So Rolex is just more safe for like respect. Hey, look, fucking
so, like,
Fluffy Pony wore an $800,000 watch to Consensus in fucking 2017.
Is that right?
Yeah, he wore an $800,000 Richard Mille, and I don't really like Richard Milles. I think they're overpriced. I think they're too cluttered. I do like that they're huge.
I just can't imagine it. I just can't even imagine it. If I had the kind of money he has, I just still can't imagine it. Everybody's different. But it's funny that you say you have to downgrade your watch so people recognize it.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, you have to have like a poor looking watch if you want respect, like
or status.
Yeah, so like an all gold Rolex of any form is probably going to get a lot more respect than this watch, even though it's like twice the price.
I'm surprised it doesn't have a HEX logo on it yet.
Thought about it. Yeah. So enough about the watches and shit. Let's talk about NFTs. So if you have any kind of hardship in your life and you bought a $100,000 JPEG, real hard time giving a fuck about what happened to you. You know, if you look in somebody's wallet and you're like, oh look, a $100,000 JPEG sitting there, real hard to care. You know.
The hard part is I really believe that NFTs are
by the rights.
They're gonna change the world. You know,
the rights are for sale. By the rights. Rights are for sale.
Okay.
You could actually own the thing instead of the fake thing.
What people did would have made a lot more sense if there was no NFT involved and it just involved a license or a transfer of rights or exclusive rights or even the master files, like to transfer the actual whatever program he used to create the stuff, transfer all that over, even though you can't prove that he didn't keep a copy, which I'm sure he did. Well, at least you have a legal agreement.
No one cares if you keep a copy of your thing that's going to be displayed publicly, because everyone in public also has a copy at the snap of a finger or the snap of a shutter on a camera. So like,
I guess my point is you don't need an NFT to do what they're doing.
No.
The NFT part is dumb. and it actually makes it a worse deal for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to just having an old school contract. Like it's like,
Yeah.
let's have a contract. I just sold you $69 million you gave me, and I'm giving you exclusive rights to sell this, to use it, to earn royalties on it, to do whatever you want, and then you can resell those rights to anybody else.
Yep.
You know, it's that has already been done for hundreds of years. The
Yep.
NFT thing is a gimmick in this regard.
We've already seen this. We already saw CryptoKitties. CryptoKitties launched 2 weeks before the top. That's what's up. Now,
Yes.
so how do reflexive cryptocurrency markets work? Real money comes in, drives up the price of Bitcoin. And then, because there's liquidity on Bitcoin and Ethereum pairs, now all the Ethereum can be traded for the same amount of Bitcoin, but the Bitcoin's worth more. So now the Ethereum price has gone up. And then for that not to be the case, people have to see Bitcoin go up and then market sell. But they don't. They're just lazy. The orders just sit there for the most part. People set orders and they let them sit. So there's no like global mastermind being like, oh, you know, so this thing went up, so the substitute good shouldn't go up either, so let me market sell it. That's not how the market works. Bitcoin's price going up rises all the ships. So Bitcoin goes up, Ethereum goes up, shitcoins go up, and no money, no real money, no dollars has left the system yet. And then people keep shifting what they're playing with. And they feel rich because they're paper rich. So they're like, oh, I'm paper rich on Bitcoin, I'm paper rich on Ethereum. Then they buy shit like $100,000 watches or fucking $100,000 bit JPEGs or whatever, right? Now what happens?
Don't lump yourself in with them, man.
I know. It's just stupid. Don't
At
waste
least you got a watch for your trouble.
Yeah, they're not
They
equivalent.
got bragging rights. That's it.
Not even. I mean, if you hear me complaining about how few bragging rights you're going to get for your 100K PATEK, imagine how few bragging rights you're going to get for your JPEG. Hey, you want to see my JPEG? Well, yeah, it's on every website. Why do you think it's yours again? You sure this is yours? Because no one else is displaying your name with it or your ETH address or anything. Like everyone else is displaying it without those things. Like, you sure this is yours? Maybe it's mine.
Right.
Maybe we both won an auction. Which one of our auctions was the real one? Right. So
Yeah, right. Yeah.
so like,
It's up to people.
well, I mean, a lot of people just assume this shit's money laundering. Where you're like, oh, you want to fucking pay some guy, and some guy needs to have money, but not from something illegal. Oh,
Yeah.
he sold himself an NFT for $1 million. Okay, whatever.
Well, you saw who
know.
bought it, right?
Yeah, I know all about it.
So it's these guys that they actually doxed themselves today. It's like these two like Indian guys or something that just, like you said, made a shitload trading or whatever, or just in crypto in general, and decided, let's start an NFT fund. And they already were balls deep in trying to make NFTs a thing before this.
Well, they have an exchange that allows you to trade the shit.
Yeah.
So they're trying to like give it I mean, look,
And they had to outbid Justin's son. That's the only reason it got the 69 million.
which was terribly
just had
stupid
to get...
in my opinion. They should have taken Justin's money. Like, he's obviously like not a good investor. Like,
Yeah,
if
but
you
that
look at
wouldn't
his trades are like comedically bad usually.
My friend, listen, they already were selling people art, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, buying it.
or buying it rather,
Yeah.
and selling it. I don't know what they're doing. And then like, okay, so all of a sudden these guys already have a relationship with Beeple.
Yeah.
Win an auction, pay Beeple 69 million. Do you think Beeple's keeping all that, or is it going right back? Come on.
I hear you, bro.
Here.
Yeah, I hear
Let's
you.
be real.
She'll
Get
bidding.
a chain
is a thing.
analysis on this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the chain analysis that I read is that Christie's would only accept payment terms if it was a direct send from only a select number of exchanges. But if the two parties,
Yeah.
the buyer and the seller, both had an account on the same exchange, you won't see anything on chain. So there is no on-chain record of that sale.
I think it was on chain. There was the same day there was like a movement of $69 million of ETH, like somebody posted on Twitter, like
okay.
one of those whale movement things.
All right.
So I don't doubt that the money was sent, but I mean, they had a pre-existing relationship.
Sure.
So right away that raises doubt.
Yeah, why didn't you just buy this stuff from each other since you already knew each other? Like, why get Christie's involved and pay them a fee?
It's a great publicity stunt.
Yeah.
You know, they got Wall Street Journal, they got every news network, they got everybody's talking about NFTs. My aunt is asking what's an NFT. Like, it's Bitcoin level awareness that they got.
Well, the difference is, so people,
Smart.
I hope you, We're gonna have a long conversation. Unless you give up, then I'll just have it without you. But like,
we'll see.
there's a lot of shit to talk about. So let's take. Okay, people don't understand what NFT means. It means non-fungible token. Okay, what does that mean? It means that when someone else buys one, it doesn't move up the price of yours. So if I have this watch and someone buys it from me for a lot, your Rolex doesn't go up in price. You don't benefit from it. But if we have a fungible token like Bitcoin, if someone buys my Bitcoin for a higher price, then it moved the price of Bitcoin up. And so that's what the next guy is expected to pay. So like when non-fungible tokens sell for a lot, it doesn't help the other poor son of a bitch's non-fungible tokens because they're non-fungible. Fungible just means exchangeable, interchangeable. That's all fungible means. So like if you go into a Ritz Cracker package, you don't really care which Ritz Cracker you get. They're all the same. You know, if you buy a Bitcoin, you don't really care which Bitcoin you get, or depending. I mean, the U.S. government just sold their Bitcoin at a $9,000 premium to spot. So some people do actually care the provenance of their Bitcoin because they don't believe in the total fungibility of Bitcoin. And, you know, the U.S. government.
Is that why it got a premium? Like,
sure.
Do we know why?
Well, we don't know exactly why, but would you rather have coins that someone could say were stolen, or would you rather have coins from the government sold you? There obviously is a little bit of premium that you could pay.
It's just ignorance.
Well, it's not though. I mean, certain Bitcoins are on the fucking OFAC list. Like certain Bitcoin addresses, you literally go to jail if you trade with them. And certain Ethereum addresses as well, because the U.S. government said if you trade with these, you get fucked.
Yeah, but you don't have to deal with that. You just buy from Coinbase, or you buy from. I mean, you do an OTC order. You know, it's like, why do you have to pay the government 9,000 plus premium? I don't get that. I read it for.
It was for a very small amount though. It was like, I think it was sort of 0.74 Bitcoin. So we're not talking like fucking big money here.
So it was just somebody that was not smart.
Hey, or somebody that just wanted us to talk about it on stream because they'll pay 100,000 for a JPEG, so they'll pay 9,000 for fucking for laughs. Like
that's possible.
Yeah,
that's possible. Or it's just somebody who owed the government a favor.
So let me give you an example of something. I like when I discover new things that the other people haven't discovered in the world yet. Like when I coin new terms or when I thought lead, right? So I'm happy to call myself a thought leader because I identify shit first and popularize it. So do that.
Okay.
Ready?
Right.
Okay.
Go.
You want to launch a new token. People have to have the token. So how do you distribute the new token? There's a few different ways. Yes. You can give it out once per person's identity. XRP tried that shit with like Facebook. XLM did it too, where you like have to give them a Facebook ID. I think.
Okay.
Those are two I know of. How else can you do it? Proof of waste, which is how Bitcoin does it. Every single Bitcoin that exists went through the hands of a miner. So it's an inflationary currency that enriches miners, which thereby by proxy enriches hardware manufacturers and electricity companies. Okay, that's another way to do it. Okay, what's another way to do it? Crowd sale. Ethereum was launched with a crowd sale, where if you got in day one, you got a little bit more ETH, and if you got in the last day, you got less ETH, and they accepted Bitcoin primarily. I think you could have also like wired money to their Zug trust or whatever in Switzerland, but not exactly sure. And then what are other ways you can do it? Airdrops. Okay. And then what's the newest one? They give you some made up coin for yield farming. Now this is the shittiest of the shitty, and I'm going to explain to you why. The absolute shittiest of the shit. Right. Okay. Proof of work. Can you lose your whole stack? No, you can't. You just bought some machines. The machines have value for other things. You can't lose your whole stack. All right. Token sale. And I haven't really, I mean, most token sales you end up, I mean, the ICOs did give you what you were supposed to, but
you can lose your money.
Yeah. So with ICOs, you really are risking your money.
Enter coin anybody? Yeah.
And I don't suggest anyone participate in them. I never have, but so we know about ICO. That mostly sucks. So ICO is probably one of the worst ones. There's no alignment of incentives. People get paid for shit that never ships. Their optimal game theory is to just leave and do the next thing. They're just horrible. And then airdrop, you don't have any risk. None at all. That's awesome. You have no risk.
Correct.
Now, yield farming.
Other than taxes, but yeah.
A shit coin comes out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if someone shoves something at you, what can you even do? You can't even do anything about it.
I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, I feel you, Doc. I feel you. So like yield farming is, I want you to take all of your money, and I want you to risk it in this contract, which is brand new, that no one has really fucking looked at yet. And these have a history of failing, and they have a history of being rug pulled, and they have a history of losing people's money. I want you to take all of your money and put it into this yield farming shit, which is going to be some copy of Uniswap. And then, as a reward for doing that, whatever percentage you are of the bullshit that just risked all of their money in this contract, we're going to issue this new shitcoin. And then the yield farmers, the apes, are like, yes, we want to do this. Let's go risk all our money. And then, so this just happened. Big data protocol. No one had ever seen it before. Appears with a contract no one's ever seen before and has $2 billion or $3 billion in it already from day one.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, oh, okay, whose money is that? Alameda's money. Okay. So Alameda must have knew the dudes, must have had the ability to look at the shit early, was the first guys in there. And then the whole rest of the world, right? So now they're just earning some new shitcoin by risking all of their money in this contract, billions of dollars of real money, or billions of dollars of shit that has at that time, you could sell it for, $1 billion, right? So now everyone else looks and they're like, well, do we just follow on Alameda and hope they did their work right and risk our shit? Or do we spend some time actually looking at this contract to see if we're going to lose all our money? Now,
who does that?
So then everyone else apes on, right? Justin Sun apes in, Three Arrows Capital apes in, fucking like 0x1B, some shit he apes in. So like, you're like, okay. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, I ain't putting no money in this shit. Nobody's ever seen this fucking thing ever before. Now, do you think that shit had a problem?
Did it? I didn't even
know.
know.
Yes. Yes, it did.
I missed
yes,
this
it
one.
did. So if you didn't withdraw your fucking yield farming money early, you lost all your rewards. So when it expired, so when the yield farming shit expired, when you went to withdraw your money, you lost all your rewards for putting all that money up at risk.
Well, that's lame as hell.
So then people were like, oh shit, we're getting wrecked.
How'd that happen? It was
just poor coding.
Error? Okay.
Well, it's just poor coding. So then there was a way to like get your money out without taking that hit, or with taking a different hit. I'm not exactly sure which. I'm using some like emergency withdraw function that didn't have a front end anywhere.
You couldn't get your money out? Or not you, but...
No, you would get your money out, but you wouldn't get any of the fucking rewards you were supposed to get. You wouldn't get your shitcoin.
Was it because like all the rewards were gone? Like they didn't have
No,
enough,
it's just as a contract error. Just bad coding.
I missed this one. I knew about BDP, but I didn't know about this error.
Yeah. And so like unless you knew how to write your own front end and, because like it's the stupidest, absolute fucking most risky, most shitty way to issue a new token. There is no reason to risk everyone's fucking stack in a contract no one's ever seen before just to issue a new goddamn token. Period.
But deposits were okay.
Right? I think that most people got their money out, but that's not why you participated. What you participated in was to get your shitcoin, and you lost. A lot of people didn't get their shitcoin, so those people lost their money.
I mean, most of the recent yield farming projects, like a lot of them have been you're depositing your Uniswap LP, right? Your token from Uniswap. So you're.
Yeah, but that's real money. That's real money. Risk,
yeah, it's real
depending
money.
Depending on what pairs it represents.
But the deposit contracts are not rocket science, as far as, I mean, I know anything can go wrong at any moment, and it does, but.
I mean, Sushi got rug pulled and then came back from death or whatever. So Sushi got, and then, okay, so let's go over a fucking list. Sushi got rug pulled.
Well, rug pulls are a different story. That's not the smart contract risk of
it is project. Because like they assigned. All right. So then PancakeSwap had their front end ask you for your private keys because of a DNS hack. And what's the other one?
Cream.
Cream asked you for your private keys to steal all your money because of a DNS hack. So Sushi, Pancake, and Cream all fucked the users over on purpose or by accident or for whatever fucking reason. Like, you know.
Well,
like,
wait a minute. Sushi was deliberate.
Well, okay.
You're talking about the initial bullshit, right? With
well, yeah. They put 10% into a dev fund, and the dev's like, "Fuck you, dumping it," and just dumped it. And was like, "Yo,
well, that
thanks
was
for
like
the money."
A deliberate thing. The Pancake and the Cream thing was DNS jacking.
Yeah, I understand it's a different threat model, a different threat class, but there are things out there that have 0 failures and have 100% uptime because I invented one, and we don't have any problems or any failures.
Your website could get compromised,
and it hasn't.
but it
like,
could.
yeah, and Bitcoin could get Sybil attacked, and Bitcoin could get a fucking drone strike on every node operator, and we could all get hit by a fucking solar flare and fry our electronics, and like I could go down the like list of the parade of imaginary horribles. You know,
you are still relying on name servers and
you can't route around that. Like you yes, but there's shit you can do better and worse. Like there are people that will use SMS for 2FA. I will not. Therefore, I am more secure than they are because I'm smarter than they are. Like, so what was the commonality in those DNS failures? It could have been SMS 2FA. You don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Were they on the same registrar? Or,
right.
I don't know. Domain register.
So nobody's immune to hacking, but at least do the best job you can. Look, do you think people hate HEX? They do. We don't have any problems.
What they did wrong.
We don't have any problems.
The problem with all this is you can't really prove, or like we have to trust that you know what you're doing. You know, we have to trust that you're taking those precautions. You're not going to go out and you can't show us for sure that you've taken every possible, and I don't even know if it's possible to completely 100%.
Well, no, you can't. There's no perfect security.
Right.
There's no perfect security, but there's better and worse. And by the way, like,
yeah, you're always better though.
HEX has had 0 problems whatsoever of any form, and everything else around us is a burning fucking garbage fire. It's hilarious. Coinbase down all the time. Kraken down all the time. BitMEX founders arrested. OKX founder arrested. You know, OKX social media all banned, in China. You're just like, and these are okay. Some of these things are outside their control, fine, but things that are inside their control, scam wicks, fucking, Oracle failures, like Chainlink, some Oracle that's supposed to tell you the price of gold just lied or got it wrong and never had any clawback, never had any punishment whatsoever for that happening. Mm-hmm. So like what are we doing out there, guys? Smart contract failures? BZX failed 3 times. This scumbag, maggot, piece of shit cocksucker reported HEX to the SEC while then losing millions of dollars of customer funds due to his own... The BZX scumbag, fuckboy, maggot, whatever his fucking name is, the bald Kyle Kistner, that fuckboy.
He reported HEX to the
This piece of shit literally went into the DeFi Pulse fucking chat, which I'm banned from, by the way. I'm banned everywhere because I speak the truth. So I'm banned on Cointelegraph, banned. CoinDesk, banned. Zero Hedge, banned. Samson Mao, banned. His girlfriend that bangs the Hider dude, not him, banned. Fucking by the way, if you're looking for a ride, she looks okay. If you want to ride Richard, hit me with a text. We'll get you tested. Make sure you don't have any weird, kaiju diseases or whatever. And then fucking making friends everywhere I go. Making friends.
But tell me, the BZX guy, Kyle, he
bragged about filing an SEC report against me personally in the chat and was paraded by everybody like, yes, yeah, fuck Richard Hart, fuck HEX, yeah, fucking scumbag.
Pulse.
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
exactly.
Well, that's the place. That's the place you want to do. You want to brag about that.
And so these pieces
Pretty sure
of shit.
I'm banned from there too. But
yeah. So the DeFi Pulse fucking maggots. Do they list HEX anywhere? No. Do they list 1inch anywhere? No. 1inch has like $2 billion in their automated market maker.
They do now. Ever since
they've had it for a long time. They've had it for like weeks, if not months. Yeah. And it's a rather new thing. And they changed some parameters, which are interesting. Like if you're going to fuck around.
Take some credit for that, by the way.
Nice. Well, go ahead. Take credit.
Applause for me. No, I just bitched and moaned about it for a little bit. And
oh, right. Yeah.
And then it got some press, and then 1inch was up there a week or two later.
So they added 1inch.
Oh yeah, they're up there now. I think. I mean, if they were.
So I'm in fucking crypto for the censorship resistance and the gains, and the removal of middlemen. And there's middleman everywhere. It is fucking disgusting. So a bunch of people.
Ethereum, yeah.
So what I invented. So for instance, another guy who hasn't blocked me yet, but he probably will. This fuckboy, the guy that started Litecoin, he copy pasted Bitcoin with a proof of work change. What's his name?
Charlie
Lee. Charlie Lee, when HEX launched, he's like, HEX is a fucking scam. Avoid it. Run away. Wait a year. Hey, Charlie, my coin's up 70x over your coin. And it does everything that it was advertised to do. Whereas you have gone publicly and said things will be added, like confidential transactions. Never happened. What's going on, buddy? So you pump your bags with false promises, and then those promises don't come true, and you dump on everybody's fucking heads. Good guy you are. Real good guy you are. And what unique code did you bring to the table? Nothing. Copy paste Bitcoin, change the proof of work.
Yep.
Now, what is HEX? Totally new thing that had not been done before. Monetizing the value of time. Like, it just is absurd to me that these scumbags. I'm a self-help author. Go look at my oldest YouTube channels. I teach people how to stop drinking, give good apologies, have better relationships, do better in life. I wrote free self-help books. I gave away my coin for free. A lot of people made a lot of money on my coin for free, just claiming it. No risk. And what are these other guys doing? Promoting rug pulls, promoting hacks, promoting shit that has admin keys, oracles, pure risk. People are losing money left and fucking right, making promises that don't come true. You fucking name it. They're all fucking doing it. I should be looked up like as the giving tree of crypto and be like, yes, Richard does it right. Richard doesn't promote margin trading. Richard doesn't fucking promote rug pulls. Richard doesn't promote fucking everyone getting wrecked all the time. But instead, people talk shit. And I'm just like, I can't possibly be a better human being. I can't do a better fucking job than I'm doing. Like, would I just start adopting orphans or some shit? Like, that's what I have to do? Probably still wouldn't get respect from these pieces of shit.
Why do you care what Charlie Lee thinks of you?
I don't. But at some point, like,
look at you. You're upset about it.
No, it's a general theme. Because I am not a psychopath. Psychopaths don't care what other people think. I do care what other people think, which is why I'm never going to do a Michael Jackson. I've had way more money than I could spend for a really long time, and you don't see me just like fucking off and doing like a silence retreat somewhere and just like giving up on life or whatever. No, you should care what people think. Not everybody, but you should care about what some people fucking think, or else you turn into a fucking psycho. Like, it's not healthy for humans. No, it's not healthy for you to pretend that you need to be social and you need to care, you need to be loved. Like,
but that doesn't mean you have to care what Charlie Lee thinks, or
believe me, like,
thinks, or Kyle Kistner thinks.
I assure you, I do not. Enough people like me, but if I I do not believe that you're a greater man for letting people talk shit unaddressed. Like, if bitches talk shit and there's even profit in like clout chasing people that have more followers than you that talk shit, you get profit from letting them know they're bitches. Like,
my friend,
why
do you think I've blocked half the HEX community?
Because they're just shilling in all your threads. Because basically you to them is just a place for them to shill. Like, I know. I've blocked, bro, I guarantee you how many people you blocked, I got more blocked. However many people you've got blocked, I've got more blocked, dude. Like, when I use Twitter like squeaks under the pressure of all the blocks.
You can't go around caring about what people think that you don't respect. Like, you have to respect them to care.
Well, I mean, look, I can respect parts of a person's behavior. So do I think that a fork of Bitcoin with a proof of work change is okay? I do think that's okay. Do I think that person should think that they're hot shit and did something other than copy paste? No. So but
you can't affect what he thinks of himself. Like, I mean, let him do his thing. Like, it's, you know.
This is not about him. It's about me.
I get that.
I deserve motherfucking respect, and I work very hard to do the right thing.
But you're getting it. You're getting it from people who embrace your project, right? Yeah. I mean, don't take that for granted. Yeah, you got like thousands of people that are diehard. Like, as soon as you said we're live streaming, that's why I did. I was about to type like, I'm tired, I'm going to bed, and then I saw like 50 people in a minute liked it. And I was like, all right, let's do it,
bro. So, the Hexicans, I mean, they're passionate, man. They are fucking passionate. I haven't seen more tattoos for any other project. Real tattoos. No, like no one's getting paid to do them. They're just doing them on their own.
What is that?
I don't know.
I will say, like, regardless of what I say or think about the economy, the HEX economy, the supporters are passionate, and they're it's something that I haven't seen much with other projects. I mean, I
don't think you'll ever see it to this degree. They're locked up for 15 years, brother.
Is that what it is?
As soon as anyone sells their bag, they start talking shit. That's how it works. If Richard didn't have any Bitcoin left...
but is it like desperation type thing?
No.
Like, I'm locked in?
No.
No, I mean, that's what I want to know.
Have you ever seen a sports game? Have you seen a sports game? Is anyone locked in the stadium? People are passionate about the shit that they choose to care about.
For 15 years. So.
Yeah, so a person will be passionate about whatever they just bought. You might not see another PATEK fucking advertisement on the channel, right? So like, people are passionate about the shit they just bought. But then that passion dissipates over time, or they sell and you just don't hear about it again. So for instance, let's talk about Bitcoin. Did Roger Ver used to promote Bitcoin? Yes. Does Roger Ver promote Bitcoin now? No. Did Richard Hart used to promote Bitcoin? Yes. Does Richard Hart promote Bitcoin now? A lot less. A lot less. Did Trace Meyer used to promote Bitcoin? Yes. Does Trace Meyer promote Bitcoin now? No. Did Satoshi promote Bitcoin? Yes. Does Satoshi promote Bitcoin now? No. Does Greg Anderson, who Satoshi handed the keys to Bitcoin development to, did he used to promote Bitcoin? Yes. Does he promote Bitcoin now? No. Well, holy shit, wait a second. What's going on here? Yeah, like people move on and they find better shit, and then they promote the other better shit. Well, in HEX, you see a lot less of that because, well, one, I love HEX, it's amazing, but two, even if it wasn't, they're in. You know what I'm saying? So you're not getting these guys like traders, right? Trader buys, says good shit, dumps in everybody's head, sells, says it's terrible shit, and then just does this schizophrenic bipolar cycle through that shit. So anyone that's following him is like, oh, like, okay, by the way, people actually respond to this because look at the headline to my shit. It's clickbait. It has like, last video was like, yo, crypto's going to zero. And then this video, it's like crypto's going to $1 zillion. Why? Because I'm just learning from the other guys that do this for a living. I don't do YouTube for a living. I'm busy building shit. But there are people that do YouTube for a living, and every video is emergency, crash, hack, doom, glory, FOMO, rocket. And you're just like, all right, fine. I'm not going to edit. I'm not going to spend time editing. I'm not going to make thumbnails. I
just saw the title of this video. I didn't know. I just looked at it.
Yeah, so it's just like, fine. I don't want to do it. But hey, if you need me to be bipolar and be like, yo, moon, doom, just for the new guys that have never seen me before, fine. We'll get you in on the clickbait, and then you could learn the awesome real shit. Fine.
You're a marketer.
Well, yeah.
It's like, that's the...
my caps lock wasn't stuck. I was like, oh, everyone's posting in all caps now. I guess I'll post in all caps too. It sucks. But I'm sucking algorithm dick, right? Like, please, YouTube algorithm, send me viewers, please, because I am more worthy of them than anyone else. Please send them,
Would HEX have gotten anywhere without your marketing?
Hard to say. Probably not, my guess. It's survivorship bias, right? Like everybody only remembers the things that worked out well, and they just don't know about all the shit that didn't work. So like people have tried to copy HEX, come and gone, and no one even noticed.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where it's I mean, do you feel like you really invented something unique that hadn't been done before?
I 100% know it.
Yeah.
So Bitcoin is not a currency, right? But it wants to be. So it tries. HEX is not a time deposit for like compared to the regular time deposits in the real world, but it tries. So it mirrors, it does the best it can to copy the parameters that are known to work in the real world. So in the real world, when you go to your bank, if you get a time deposit, which is like $10 trillion of deposits now with all the inflation, I bet, used to be 7.2 trillion just in the US and China, like when we launched a year ago. The way that works is you get paid 20% more interest for every extra year you lock. And people go, yeah, but where does the interest come from? The same place that interest comes from, inflation. Same place. But when I deposit my money into the bank, it gets loaned out. No, it doesn't. You just don't understand how banks work. Your money is a liability to the bank, not an asset. Your money doesn't get lent out. Your money is used as a fucking joke to measure quadratic funding wise how much real actual free money you should be getting from the government to borrow. And then you lend out the money you get from the government. Your money never fucking actually moves.
How much of the total HEX supply do you own?
I would never talk to you about my coins ever. Of any coin. I wouldn't talk to you about them.
Half.
Well, I can tell you, it's all public, and the origin address, whoever that is or whatever that is, got half. And it appears to be happy to not stake. And well, so it sends to other addresses, and then those other addresses used to stake, and it was reducing the market cap and reducing everybody's payouts. In a yield where everyone's comparing their farming payouts, that's probably not useful. And when a yield, like being higher up in the market caps gets you more eyeballs, that's probably not useful. And so I don't have a crystal ball, but maybe the reason that you only have a 10% staked rate in HEX is because the people that have big bags of HEX would prefer that new users were getting higher rewards that are competitive with an average 40% payout before USD appreciation, a 40% payout in HEX, to help be competitive with all the other things that are out there. Whereas if all of the whales in the system decided, hey, you know what, let's just all stake. And if all the whales in the system staked, it would reduce everyone's payouts, and it would reduce the market cap because those coins get burnt. But it would also reduce the amount that these guys were getting in yield from being able to sell. And so it's a balance. There's an art. It's like voltage and amplitude, kind of. You end up with watts, but you can up the amperage or you could up the volts. They both compound to equal watts. So you can either
could you kill HEX tomorrow if you wanted to?
No, it's impossible.
No, not just technically, but in any way.
No, like, so
that's part of my concern with HEX is that you could tomorrow have a mental breakdown and fall apart and say, everybody sell, and then everybody would sell because everybody looks up to you and looks for advice.
See, this is the one thing that, like, HEX has dipped 70% like 5 times.
You have full control over this thing.
No, I don't, because the chart would look way less crazy. If I had full control, the chart would just be a fucking up and to the right diagonal, and it wouldn't be like zoom, death. We wouldn't be doing death so often if I was in charge.
But it exists at your mercy.
You're saying that, but it's not true. Satoshi left Bitcoin. How did it go? No. You can do chain analysis on all the liquidity. The hexagons, I did chain analysis on the liquidity. I looked on the ETH pair, which is 1/3 of the liquidity, on Uniswap. And these guys have a lot of coins I would never buy in my entire life. A lot of weird looking coin fanatics in there. You go on QuickSwap, a product I've never used and provide no liquidity on. I don't know who, like, there's $500K or $1 million liquidity there that just hexagons put there. We're also the number, like, and here's the other thing. All that liquidity that's just in the moment, that's not the real liquidity. The real liquidity is buyers that step into the market when the price is lower and sellers that step into the market when the price is high. And they are not sitting in the automated market maker. So, like, the majority of liquidity in any project is not in the market at the time. Like, if you look at houses, what percentage of the total house value of the world is currently sitting as bids or asks in the house market? A pitiful percent. And so the majority of all value of all healthy commodities or tradable things is not sitting in, like, the automated market maker, because it's inefficient. Like, the money that's sitting in the automated market maker is also not doing other things. So it's just sitting there kind of unused, which is why you see this rehypothecation of, lending market for LP tokens and things like that to try and improve capital efficiency. So, well, first of all, okay, every single important thing in the world is controlled by one guy. America has a president. He can just at will nuke Russia whenever he wants. He's like, I'm drunk. Let's nuke Russia. And he could. And it's okay. And everyone's like, yeah, we want that. We want that guy to be able to nuke Russia at will. Literally. One guy. Okay. Elon Musk goes on Twitter. Elon Musk's like, yo, Dogecoin, you will get my full support if the whales sell, because the only problem I see is centralization. You're like, oh, that's funny. What percentage do you own of Tesla? 30%. Does anyone own 30% of Doge? So maybe you should learn from what works. So what works is centralization and ownership. If you look at any successful coin, including Bitcoin, the ownership is massively centralized. Every fucking time. Always. Every coin. And so then people get this dream. They get this dream. They're like, decentralization is really good. And it is for censorship resistance only. And it's really bad for everything else. For everything that's not censorship resistance, decentralization is horrible. And what is actually good? Vertical integration. So when you're vertically integrated, you pay less margin for things because you own all the things. You're like, oh, we want to put out ads? All right, well, we'll just have our newspaper company put out ads. Oh, we need to buy parts? We'll buy parts from our own parts manufacturer. So vertical integration, mergers and acquisitions, is known to be the most effective way to do things. Why does Facebook never get replaced? Because they buy everything that could replace them. They bought Instagram. They bought WhatsApp. You can't replace Facebook because they're like, oh, you coming to S-curve us? You coming to fucking turn off our on-ramp? Well, boom, we'll buy you. So the shit that works, and obviously works, is centralized ownership and centralized control. And it is visible in everything that is good in the whole world. But then crypto-tards, they think they're smart, and they're like, decentralize all the things. And you're like, no. You just decentralize the consensus network. And everything else should have fucking whales. Because the whales don't have to sell. You think Elon Musk is like dumping his Tesla shares? He's not, which helps the Tesla price. But the fucking plebs that want to buy things, they dump the fucking price. And they hurt the price. And so anytime you see the HEX price dip, you go on chain and you go see who fucking sold it. I'm willing to bet you ain't going to find no origin address coins getting sold. But you're going to see fucking pleb coins getting sold. So like,
Yeah.
people just don't like, so basically your fear you shouldn't have. This particular fear, many of your fears you have are perfectly wonderful, but this fear about centralization, it's like Tesla, like how much control does Zuckerberg have of Facebook? Most of it. How's that worked
Fear
out?
centralization.
Well,
I don't fear centralization. I'm a fan of centralization when it matters, you know. I don't want my there's plenty of cases where every company that like Tesla, I wouldn't want a decentralized Tesla. You need a visionary leader.
people do it in their best interests. So if you were the founder of a token, what would be in your best interests? Destroy your life's work or be a billionaire? Be a billionaire seems like the no-brainer. Yeah.
I get that. Yeah. And I think that you're exceptionally open about this on this topic.
Yeah. I'm as open as the law lets me be.
The only thing I've ever said is that it's not for me. It's not why I'm here. I'm not here to,
I hear you, man. But like,
I'm not here to participate. I don't think that I wouldn't use Ethereum specifically to participate in a project that has that level of centralization.
You don't have a choice. They all do. Every project does.
That's not true.
Okay.
That's not true.
All right.
That's not true.
Let's go over them. Give me the decentralized project.
HEX specifically has an economy that is relatively centralized.
Nope. I don't agree with that.
It has leadership,
Why do you say that?
spiritual and marketing wise, that is centralized, right? So buying HEX is investing in Richard Hart.
No. That's like saying buying Tesla is investing in Elon Musk. It's not.
It is.
It's not.
It's the same thing.
No, because Satoshi walked away from Bitcoin and Bitcoin did fine. You just think that. You're
that's apples and oranges. Satoshi walked away.
He walked away really early, man. He walked away really early.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but Bitcoin was set up to succeed. I mean, Bitcoin was set up to work, you know, to be eternal.
No.
Is HEX?
Yes. So HEX is more secure than Bitcoin, literally, which is why HEX has had less bugs than Bitcoin, literally, measurably. So there's not even a comparison. So people, okay, a Bitcoin forked once because someone minted 2 billion extra Bitcoin by accident in 2010. Does anyone talk about that? No, they pretend it didn't happen. But yes, Bitcoin has been hacked, and yes, billions of Bitcoin were minted that shouldn't have been.
Bitcoin was the first blockchain, period. Sure. So of course it's going to have bugs and it's going to have issues in the beginning.
Yeah, and that's still no excuse for no bug bounty program, which Ethereum has. And it's no excuse for no security audits, which HEX has. Neither of those is excusable. So yeah, it used to be old and new 10 years ago, but now it's 10 years later. And the basic standards of security that HEX has, it doesn't have. We have security audits. Bitcoin does not. We have no errors or bugs. Bitcoin does.
I hate it when you compare HEX to Bitcoin. I really hate it because it's
Okay, hold on. What do you think is easier to secure, more code or less code?
Well, that sounds like a trick question, Richard.
It's not. No, but people
Okay.
people are silly. They think like more lines of code equal better. They think more hash rate equal better, when neither of those is true. Every single
Right.
security failure that has occurred in cryptocurrency, for the most part, has not been a hash rate failure. You see Ethereum Classic getting 51% attacked once in a while. You see maybe some other random coin no one ever fucking uses getting 51% attacked once in a while. But you know what you see all the time? Inflation bugs. All the time. All the time. It's the
Because
primary...
of complexities, because of people try too hard. Yes.
And because they change things. So the reason that Bitcoin is less secure is because it is mutable. HEX is not mutable. The HEX code ain't changing. It's locked in stone. So the last inflation bug that Bitcoin had, where anyone could have minted as many free Bitcoin as they wanted, period, which they discovered and said, oh, it's just a DDoS vulnerability. And then later, after they patched it, they're like, yo, actually, it was a DDoS vulnerability, and anyone could have minted as many free Bitcoin as they wanted, and it was discovered by a Bitcoin Cash developer, not a Bitcoin developer, and he could have used it, but he chose not to because, well, I guess he hates money, or he's a nice guy. You know, and then like this really happened. And so now we have Elon Musk buying a $1.5 billion of something that only a year or two ago, someone could have minted as many free of it as they wanted, because they don't understand the actual threat models. Here's some coins that have been 51% attacked. Raven coin, Monero, but they caught it before it was done. Other forks of Bitcoin, which Monero is, had it executed against them, like Bitcoin itself. XLM got 51% attacked. Bitcoin got, not 51, sorry, inflation bugged. So XLM, Monero.
What are you saying right now?
I'm
You're
saying
bragging
HEX
that
can't
cannot
have
be
this
fixed.
shit. No, HEX can't have this because
Ethereum
our
can.
consensus. Yeah, so what? The Ethereum ticker is
So
not the
what?
HEX ticker. The Ethereum ticker is
No,
not the HEX
but if
ticker.
Ethereum gets taken down, so is HEX.
No, but it's not taken down. An
You're just
inflation
taking
bug just
advantage of
hurts.
somebody else's work.
What?
You're
Ethereum is
living
also
on Ethereum. You don't have
No.
to develop your own chain. You don't have to get validators
Did you know I'm
or
oh,
nodes
by
or
the way, did you
miners.
know I'm building my own fork of Ethereum? You didn't hear
No.
about that. I'm building
No.
my own fork of Ethereum, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's that going to run?
We're
Proof of work?
basically no, you can't. Ethereum Classic, you can't. You get 51% attacked all the time.
So, okay.
Proof of stake.
All right.
So
So it's going to be the HEX chain?
I can't call it that because of just general hatred by dum-dums. So it's going to have to be called something else.
The heart chain?
Interesting. Haven't thought about that. I haven't got the name chosen yet. So, like I just put on my first new like lead dev for it.
But HEX will be
yesterday,
the native currency?
Probably not. It's probably not going to
Okay.
be because the hatred. So right now we don't have a market cap on CoinGecko. Why? The people that run it are scumbags. We obviously do have a market cap. We obviously are the most popular DApp before NFTs got popular. We were the most popular DApp on Ethereum that wasn't for trading. So
Do you really not understand why you get this shit?
yeah,
Do you really
I mean,
deep
look,
down not get it?
everyone hates for different angle. It's fine. It's okay.
Do you not see the
I have people letting me
stigma
know
that
that I
goes
could be
along
like
with
more
being a
friendly and
salesman?
nicer. Hey, look. You know what? Who makes money on scams? They make money on scams. They literally advertise on pages
I
that
agree.
show how
I think-
scams are doing. And
Look,
they
I think
compare scams
HEX
to each other.
exists. I don't think HEX's existence should be denied. I think it should be recognized.
Yeah.
But
So if I'm launching a
wondering,
new
do
coin,
you-
I'm hoping that there's less of that stupidity. I hope. Because, maybe on the front page I don't say designed to do 10,000x in a year or some shit.
so it's going to be a new coin on this new chain.
Yep.
HEX is going to live on this chain. It's going to be a program.
I'd like to see that, yeah. Yeah, because so here's what happens with blockchains. As long as automated market makers exist and they're 25% of network usage or more, they're probably 50% of network usage actually, then the arbitrage opportunities in those systems having to reflect price movements in the real world, the complexity of updating all of those order books to match real world price movements means that the economic activity of things that support trading will always outprice all other use cases and then fill up the blocks, always, in any censorship resistant system. So Ethereum is likely to stay full no matter what. Oh, and by the way, they just raised the costs for HEX 3x in the next Berlin fork that's coming up in 30 days. because we're a real application that uses real business logic and has to pull data off of a drive using the S-load function. So they increased the gas price of S-load by 2.7x in the Berlin fork after increasing it 4x in the last fork they did. So now it's up 8, 10, 12x. Why? Why? So instead of scaling and making their database work better or increasing block sizes or gas limits or whatever, they just fuck us and other people that use real business logic. You're like, all right, well, you know what? You raise the price 4x, which is the reason we don't have 50-year stakes. We have 15-year stakes. And now you raise the price 2.7x again. Does this sound like unstoppable computing? No, this sounds like our computing is literally getting stopped. I'm not cool with that shit. I'm not cool with it. And it's not fair for someone to make a $50 stake and it costs $150 to unstake it. That's not okay.
That's why you're forking.
I don't have a choice. If you want to save the layer 1 guys that have HEX stakes and be able to get their money out instead of just giving it all to a goddamn miner, and what does a miner do with it? Dump the ETH price is what he does with it. Like, miners are not your fucking buddies. Like, when you give them coins, they dump those shits for electricity to drive up the difficulty rate versus other miners. So if we want to save, so there's already guys that have built shit or are building shit for layer 2 that will allow new people to use layer 2 instead of layer 1 ETH. And so they can on-ramp with cash into layer 2. They could set up and get parts of a stake on layer 2, but that doesn't save the L1 guys. And so if you want to save the L1 guys, you have to go to a new L1 chain. And there are a lot of chains that support Solidity code. So we have a lot of options. And from my perspective, you know, I believe that the people that would participate in this thing are most likely to be Hexicans and honorable and just, and you'll just have like 80 validators that all have like a minimum of whatever this native token is. Who knows, maybe it gets airdropped to Hexicans and then, you know, in effect they have free transactions because they're already prepaid for with the coins they got airdropped or whatever. And then part of the reason I'm happy to be on a different chain is I can't tell you what parameters I'm changing, but there's some very exciting parameters that a lot of people would really like. And so there's more shit that you can do than just cheaper and more throughput. And by the way, the more throughput gets eaten up. So like when we launched and gave free coins to Bitcoin holders, we only got about 3% of the total possible claims. And that was after like hard effort. And so with this other thing, I mean, I wouldn't imagine we would get more than 10% of Ethereum users to flip over. That would be like really good, I think. And then over years, the blockchain would just fill up again because of the economic activity of those other guys doing automated market maker shit and whatnot. But by then you might have more popular L2 stuff like composable optimistic rollups, you know, where they could talk to each other, whereas right now they can't, things like that. Mm-hmm. So I'm forking Ethereum. And I've already got the first dev on board, and then I'm hiring more. So basically what we need is a replacement for Infura. We'll be able to use MetaMask because you just change one parameter in MetaMask. And then we need a replacement for like a block explorer, and those are open source, so should be a problem. I mean, even Etherscan has block explorers for other chains that aren't Ethereum. Same team, different explorers for different chains. So MetaMask has shown they're happy to work with different chains because they do. And Etherscan has shown that they're happy to work with different chains. And so basically, like the only thing I really have to do is build out an Infura kind of replacement, which isn't that hard. You're just running a bunch of nodes.
Why didn't you just cut a deal with CZ and move it to BSC?
Why pump his bags?
Get some money out of it.
Nah, fuck that. I see CZ as a competitor. So like another thing, like if you think about the funding that I have available to me and the things that I could do and the things that I've proven that I'm capable of, I am no longer interested in being the bitch of anybody. So whatever other things are out there that are like, yo, do this to work with us, no. Like, fuck you guys. We'll just do it ourselves. Oh, you have an exchange? Oh, cool.
Well, there's benefits for you too to be a part of an existing
don't care
community, or you know, I mean, to get more users, right? And not just BSC, like, but, you know, there's other ones too. This PATEK thing, I don't even know what it does. Avalanche, like, I don't know.
Well, I'll put it to this way. When people, I don't want to tell people what the best, most amazing part of my fork is, But that particular best, most amazing part precludes it from us just moving to some other thing.
Okay.
And look, it's a
It'll be
social
unique.
consensus thing. It's a social consensus thing. Look, hexagons just decide, no, we prefer the ETH fees. We like to pay 150 to end a stake. It's great. They could be like that. And it's unstoppable code. So you can't. You're like, okay, because you can't kill Hex. Like Hex will always be on layer 1. You can't kill it. But you could just try and find the social consensus. How?
You tell everybody to move.
Oh, right. All right. Well, I just like I've been telling people to pull liquidity off the ETH pair so that we could be denominated mostly USDC, so that when ETH finally does fucking dump, the Hex doesn't have to dump with it. But they're not exactly listening, and the majority of liquidity on QuickSwap is ETH, and the majority of liquidity, or a third of the liquidity on Uniswap is ETH, and that's directly against what I've been asking for. So I have evidence to support that hexagons do their own thing. Like, I never told anyone about QuickSwap.
I know people are pissed at me right now, but I'm just bullshitting. I'm just picking on you.
Yeah,
I'm just picking on you.
It's all good. So the other thing is like, why? All I need is a functioning consensus network and system state, and I'm good. Then Hex just works fine, and there's no reason to overpay for anything. You know?
How do new people hear about it? From existing people, I guess. So there's constant like referral thing going on, right?
I mean, I see new hexagons doing live streams all the time that I've never seen before. I see new people direct message me all the time, like, "Hey, I got my uncle in, I got my dad in, I got my family in."
They're already using Ethereum, so they're already sort of Ethereum friendly.
Well, yeah, but like Vitalik has never shown any respect to me or my project, and I'm the only guy out there shilling the charity that he supports, the Sens Foundation, and I did it long before he ever heard of it. So I volunteered for the Sens Foundation back in 2006 when he was probably like a sperm or something. And, it's fine. Like, I love the work he's doing. Thank you for building free and open source software. Thank you for fucking supporting the Sens Foundation. I love that. But at some point, it's like the Ethereum people, they're just not showing us the respect that we deserve. We were the most popular dApp on Ethereum before NFTs and before we made Uniswap popular. People forget that. Hex was the majority of Uniswap trading for a long time. And people are just like, huh? You're like, yeah, we also made Tornado Cash popular.
I'm just constantly amazed that you care.
Well, why not?
Vitalik
It's profitability.
thinks.
Well, bro, I respect him. Like, he's a smart fucking dude, and at some point we'll probably end up like sitting on stage together promoting the Sens Foundation. Like, so we have similar goals, right? He is someone that actually builds open source software, writes thoughtful treatises on
Does
the
he look
state
like
of consensus networks.
A marketer to you?
No, he's shit at marketing. He's terrible at it. I sell Ethereum better than he does. He's
What
no good
percentage of Hex's success has come from marketing?
All of it?
Half. At least half.
No, probably all of it.
Okay. Do you see why Vitalik wouldn't get it? Like,
no, but it's still unique and interesting anyway. You have to get rid of the banker's time deposit product, and we're the only people that do it. And it's just so obvious. Who else replaces the bank's time deposit? It's just us. It's like,
it's a
so
cool
obvious.
idea, but it exists because of the marketing. And like,
that's everything, man. That's everything I'm wearing. Like, what percentage of PATEK success is marketing? Everything is successful for marketing. Nothing is built without sales. Like,
I agree.
Yeah.
But that's why to somebody like Vitalik or anybody else in the space that doesn't get it,
so
they're looking for the next shiny tech object, like, I mean.
So let me put it differently.
To me, it's crystal clear. I mean,
there's profit in routing around bastards. I don't think Vitalik's a bastard. I think there are a lot of bastards in cryptocurrency. If you route around them, there's glory and profit in it. So when people treat you poorly, so let me give an example. If Ethereum hadn't decided to fucking raise our gas fees yet again, 3x, and if the fees weren't already disgustingly abusively high, do you think I would be forking Ethereum and competing with it? No, I wouldn't be. I do what I have to do. So do you think I'd be creating a Grayscale competitor or having calls every weekend to that effect if Grayscale had already listed HEX? No. But they haven't listed HEX. And so it's like, all right, I want people to be able to buy HEX on the fucking OTC market.
You don't see why Grayscale would not list HEX?
Have you seen what else they've listed, bro? Because they've listed some real dog shit, bro. They've listed some shit that gets 51% attacked all the time, ETH Classic, and they've listed a coin I've never even heard of before, like called Horizon or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, they do list funky looking shit.
I wanna get you to the point where you can at least understand the
No, but like,
perception problem. There's a perception problem.
yes, there is. And how do you remedy of them? The remedy of that, you fucking lay into them. You don't do it by like being, oh, it's cool. You know, you don't understand how awesome we are, so that's fine. No, it's not
But the
fine.
perception problem is the figurehead. The figurehead of it is. And I'm not saying you
Whatever.
are a problem. I'm
No,
saying
look, Barry Silber's brother has me blocked, which probably isn't good, because I fucking was like, oh, you guys are making a fucking on-chain like scam exchange, publicly talking shit with Bitcoin maximalist, toxic maximalist hats for sale, while buying ERC20s for some new fucking exchange to get people wrecked. Margin trading exchange, ERC20, and so Jameson Lop got them ERC20 tokens. Samson Mao got them ERC20 tokens, and they're all singing the Bitcoin maximalist tune. I'm like, this is bullshit. You know, I had to eat shit from switching from Bitcoin to Ethereum. You guys need to eat the same shit I ate. And let's see publicly what it is you guys are really doing. So you're selling maximalist hats while buying ERC20 tokens. Fuck you. So I tell the truth, man. And people are going to hate it, and that's fine, because guess what? President Trump didn't get to be president by being a bitch. He got free press from being controversial. People are going to watch our shit because we shit talk a lot of the projects. Usually I do everything. I know about a lot of stuff that's going on, and I don't tell anyone about it because I don't want them to FOMO retarded shit and lose their money. So you never heard me mention BDP before, this big data protocol shit, because I didn't want people losing any goddamn money. But now that their yield farming little bullshit is mostly over, now like I feel a little bit safer to mention it and be like, oh, look, they launched a contract that had errors in it and cost people a lot of their rewards. They didn't get what they were supposed to get because they're bad at code. They're bad. And why were they bad? Well, didn't see any security audits and launched without public fucking viewing of what was going on. Like, yeah, you should have problems. Cryptocurrency's hard. Right. You need eyeballs on this shit or you will have fucking problems. And so like, so back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin has no bug bounty program. The bug bounty is go mint as many free coins as you want. Bitcoin has no security audits. You literally go to a security auditing company and you write them a check. That's it. Mm-hmm. This is not rocket science. HEX did it. They didn't do it. They deserve to get fucked with until they do. Because if something bad happens to them, it's bad for everybody. So I wish the fucking Bitcoin maximalists would get their shit together and care about security as much as I did in my project so that we don't all have to take a fucking hit if there's a problem with it. Because bad for everybody. So.
Yes.
So
but I mean, the bounty at this point is, like you said, it's everything.
Well, some people obviously do respond to incentives, and like that guy that detected the last bug that could have minted as many free coins as he wanted, he didn't. So there still are some good people out there, you know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bet like if you could mint as many free Bitcoin as you wanted, would you be like, nah? You're like, I don't know,
I'd
dude.
Be sly about it.
I don't know about that shit.
I would still want them to be valuable, so I would probably do it quietly.
Oh, you don't have to do it quietly.
As we speak.
I already figured out how to keep the money. Do you want me to tell you how to keep the money? You just cut the miners in on it. So you just give a percentage of your net to the miners, and then they'll never fork you out. You're welcome. But that's what these other guys do is they don't cut the miners in, and the miners are like, yo, maybe we fucking fork it out.
If somebody intelligent figured out how to do it, we wouldn't hear about it until after they sold them.
Yeah, so like, well, I mean, there's people that detect real time whether the inflation isn't what it should be. So if you mint a bunch of extra Bitcoin that shouldn't be there, people do have monitors to detect that.
A bunch.
I know of like 2, but
I mean, what if it was a smaller amount on a regular basis? Like,
oh yeah, they would catch it. They would catch it instantly. Like people actually keep an eye out for that shit. But they'll open a trade and you probably won't notice until their trade's already executed.
We're gonna get to the end of this whole thing. It's gonna be like 21,152. Yeah, 21,000,000. Like, where did these come from? Gee, I don't know. Weren't you keeping track? No.
So the things
nobody was keeping track.
Yeah. So the things that I'm popularizing that no one else is, and to some degree you are, a set of these things is, I'm the one telling you that inflation bugs are the most common bugs in crypto. No one else is saying that. I'm the one pointing out that Bitcoin has had this twice and Ethereum has had it never. No one else is saying that. I'm the one pointing out that ERC20s in general using a standard Open Zeppelin code are more secure against inflation bugs than either Ethereum itself or Bitcoin, because those consensus codes can't be changed, whereas Ethereum consensus code gets changed every time they update the node, and Bitcoin consensus code gets changed not every time they update the node, but often enough. And that inflation bug that was recent, the Bitcoin Cash developer caught, was introduced to Bitcoin by trying to optimize the networking stack, and the networking stack affected the consensus stack because it is spaghetti code. It is no modularity. When you isolate your consensus code involving supply into a smart contract, which is locked and immutable, that modularity is what the defense is. It's like putting your consensus in a safe and then putting that safe in another safe, which is the node software. So HEX and a lot of other tokens are more secure against the most common bug in crypto, and just no one realizes it. And then people think they think like hash rate is what secures a network, and you're like, no.
But saying an ERC20 token is more secure than Ethereum
from the particular consensus bug of inflation.
But you're inheriting Ethereum's risk.
Nope, no, you're not. It's different. They're different.
I
bugs.
understand. I think we're on the same page, but it's just philosophical almost, where you're
making a fallacy of parts. You're making it like all failures are the same. So if
the ERC20 doesn't exist without Ethereum.
Yeah, but right? Ethereum could have an inflation bug and it wouldn't affect ERC20s. It would just affect the Ethereum ticker symbol.
Correct.
So Ethereum can have an inflation bug, and everyone can mint a lot of extra Ethereum, and they can dump the market prices, and the market prices can go down. And guess what? Then it's better for my users because we could fucking make transactions for less money. So like if the Ethereum price went down, it would be actually better for the utility of the Ethereum network from the fucking usage perspective. For use cases that are being priced out. But if your blocks are always going to be full anyway, it's so like.
But now you're moving off, so you don't have that anymore.
Well, not for a couple of years. If that chain gets adoption, it's going to have higher. It's going to have maybe 3-second blocks instead of 13-second block average, and then like you're gonna. It should fill up over the years, right? So maybe we start with like 3 to 10% of the total Ethereum user base that's happy to play along, and then maybe over 2 or 3 years, unless a bear market hits, and then you have maybe 5 years until it fills up again.
Let's come up with a name for it right now.
I can't because everyone will register everything.
Don't use Heart Chain because
I just can't. Everyone will register everything, even if we come up with
something
something
on
good.
Heart.
We have to do it off stream. I'm happy to do it, but we have to do it off stream.
How about Ginger Train? Ginger Chain. That's a tongue twister. Nah. All right.
So we covered DeFi yield farming is the most risky way to issue a new token. Risk your whole stack in an unedited contract.
Think. I don't.
Well, what's riskier?
I think ICOs are way riskier.
Okay, so second riskiest then.
Dumping your US dollars into some bullshit is pretty risky.
Well, okay. So let's look at it this way. You want to use yield farming as a way to issue a new coin. The people who make the most of the new coin are the people that had the most money to start. So Alameda drops in 1.5B. You ain't got 1.5B to drop in. So why don't you just airdrop people by their balance in Ethereum and achieve the same effect without risking their whole money in a contract? So if you're just going to airdrop all the rich guys, just go airdrop all the fucking rich guys. That's what I did.
It's different. It's different ends to different means. I mean, it's they want liquidity, right? So they do it to build liquidity. So
no, but they did it for liquidity. No, but they're liquidity pairs that aren't their own token. So you're rewarded for providing liquidity for shit that wasn't BDP. They just make a menu. They're like fucking, here, put Tomo coin in there and put fucking, Curve in there and different shit. So and then why is it just those coins? No reason. Random. There's X number of ERC20s that you could use. Well, we just chose these ones. Okay. And we have the same thing on like QuickSwap, right? Like if you provide liquidity on QuickSwap with HEX, they give you some of their QuickSwap tokens or whatever. But then
they're the exchange. Okay. They want the liquidity. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, all right, So like this idea
way for them to distribute. Yeah.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, like, Uni even had to do this. Everyone loved Uniswap because they had no token. They loved them. They're like, you didn't need you for $100,000 grant, you did what Bancor got $100 million to do. Yep. And they did it better. Yep. But then SushiSwap vampire attacked them by adding a shitcoin to farming. And then they had to re-vampire attack Sushi by duct taping their own shitcoin on. Hey, when they turn on that switch so Chris has been tweeting today that they have now the ability to turn on the switch, which will steal, tax 15% of new liquidity providers adding liquidity to Uniswap pairs. A lot of people don't. It doesn't affect
the board.
Nope, doesn't affect the old guys. Yeah, it's important. It's an important difference. If you're already in, if you're already an LP, they can't tax you. But new LPs get fucked if they flip the switch.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure, and I'm one of the only guys that knows that. Yeah, I'm very sure. I'm very sure.
I don't even know how that would work because the 0.05% that's being diverted.
Well, it's 15% of the total. It's 5 of 30.
Yeah. So it's
the
0.3%
new LPs
charged
get robbed.
to every swapper.
Taxed. The new LPs get taxed.
I gotta find the data on that. I didn't know that.
I've got it, bro. So the new LP, if they flip the switch on, new liquidity providers will be missing 15% of the tokens they would have otherwise had they provided liquidity before the switch got flipped.
But then uni holders would not be getting the full 0.05%. They'd be getting a much smaller percent because of the total swap fees.
Right, because it would only affect new LPs, not existing LPs.
I didn't know that, so I'll have to find some.
Probably no one does because they don't read the fucking code. But
how does nobody fucking know that if it's?
They're stupid.
All right.
They're all apes. I know.
I don't know it, dude. Don't call me stupid. I've been looking at all the docs for months, and I don't know that.
Well, remember, I made Uniswap popular on the back of my own marketing more than they ever did, so I should know it.
What?
I was.
You're an animal.
What
You're
I
such
was.
An animal.
Go,
you're promoting.
go
you
on
don't
Twitter.
Even know you're promoting.
Bro, go on Twitter and look at how many fucking Uniswap tweets there were. I was the majority of them. It's just me. No one cared. No one gave a fuck. There was nothing on there. There was no volume on there.
17-part online course.
I knew you had a course, but I didn't know it was 17 parts, bro. What the fuck?
17 videos. I put it on YouTube.
Well, good. I hope people watch them. You know more about this than most people.
It's funny because it's like, the whole point in doing it was you can use Uniswap all day long, but you still don't have any freaking idea how it works under the hood. You have no idea how you're getting screwed constantly by front runners. You have no idea how you're getting screwed by slippage.
Sandwich attacks.
It's true. We can't underestimate how little people understand about this stuff.
They don't understand impermanent loss. So they go and they look and they go to like Uniswap info and they're like, oh, I can make 400%. And you're like,
right.
Actually,
there's a whole video on that.
You have to subtract your impermanent loss from that. That's your like, if you didn't have impermanent loss, that's what you would have got. But in fact, you do have impermanent loss and you do have to subtract it out. And it is a lot. As a matter of fact, I think that people that provided liquidity on Uniswap for the Ethereum USD pair, I think they lost money on this bull run because you can only withstand so much LP loss. Like they actually lost money during the bull run. If it's over
like 10-20% move, then you're losing
in a day.
And USD doesn't move, so yeah.
So like
for sure,
people like
depends how long they were in. If they were in since 400. They're royally screwed. Yeah.
So you would, and that's the other thing, like people advertise these insane like ROI percentages and you're like, well, is that in some weird coin that I have to multiply the value, or is it in a coin that's good and the value went up, or like, it's actually really hard. It's really hard.
And there's not a lot of good tools either.
Nope.
To track it.
There's not.
I'll plug one. APY.vision is good.
Maybe.
I have no relationship with them, but
maybe. You can't understand what it says. It's
good for tracking the IL. It's good for seeing if you're getting screwed or not.
Yeah, but like when you try and look up historically how much you would have made ETH versus USDC liquidity provider, in the bottom table it says using average price or using like recent price, and one is like 250 and one is like 600, and ETH is neither of those. And then you're like, you need to calculate this every day. You can't just use that one number and just assume that's the ETH price. You need to with
so
granularity. Yeah, with granularity you could get the right answer, but they just don't provide that. So like because it's just math. Like you should be able to say this motherfucker made or lost this much, period. And that's not available yet. So sure, that there are some stuff there that helps.
I haven't seen a better one though.
I haven't.
and it sucks because It's the biggest problem with all this, is losing money.
It would be to know. It would be
permanent
nice to
loss.
know whether you're losing or making money. It would be
Yeah,
nice. Yep.
yeah. So, but yeah, I think I would love to see more tools that do that.
Well, welcome to
But
the tragedy of the commons. People are.
I wish I could build, man. I've tried so hard.
You could. It's not that. I mean, it's not that hard. You could.
I You're not a developer, right? I mean, you hire
I'm
guys
pretty close
to
to
build.
one. I'm pretty close to one.
You didn't build Hex. You hired
Nope.
somebody.
But I audited the contract and caught a bunch of bugs on the way. I'm like, this business logic isn't right.
Do you
This
have
should be a
Hex
plus
earring?
instead of a minus.
I just noticed your
Yeah.
Hex earring. Jesus Christ.
So like the thing you have to understand about code is it's
I
literally
could never do what you do. I just could never do what you do. I
you'd
think
be
it's great
surprised.
what you're doing, and you're out there, you're doing stuff, you're self help and building hacks, and I don't have it in me. It's like you're a special kind of person that can
Thanks,
that can do all this.
I mean, look, code, bro, it's just data and math. And by math, I literally just mean like add, subtract, divide, multiply. Like there's
Yeah.
nothing really hard going on. So
I tried for a long time. To sit down and come. I mean, and also to hire people to develop and stuff like that. And then I just sort of realized in the past couple of years, like I feel like there's a lot more value I could provide in sort of guiding the
yeah.
guiding the industry almost. Not to, it's sort of like just putting pressure in the right places. Because for a long time I did this same kind of stuff, but with politics. And like,
Well, it's bigger. Let me tell you, you have a lot more viewers. I would get more viewers doing keyboard reviews than this, literally.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For real,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Well, but also you get drowned out because there's a lot more voices. I mean, I'm constantly amazed that the little things that I can say and research actually get published in like the media. It's like
Nice. Good.
It doesn't make sense though. Like with Harvest Finance was one. Like I read the audit. It said in the audit report
You could rug pull whenever you want. No one be
it
careful.
was worse. The anonymous developer can pull all of the funds out of the smart contract and put it into his address at any moment. So I just literally copied and pasted that, put it on Twitter. Next thing you know, it's a headline on the block.
And to no effect. To no effect as well, I might add. To no effect.
No effect is well. I mean, a lot of people learned about it. A lot
Yay.
of people messaged me and said thank you. But
Yeah, but no one pulled their
still
money.
$1 billion.
No one pulled their
project, I
money.
think.
They're like, yes, give us the risk. We want to risk everything. They left it. Still.
That's their decision, man. Well, I got laughed out of the chat. I mean, look, everybody in that Discord knew. So it's like that's not my goal. My goal is not to get degenerates to clean their act up. My goal is to save Joe, who has no fucking idea what he's doing.
I want to save those guys. I want to save everybody because it's better for everybody. Look, if
Can't.
people don't get wrecked and lose their money to margin trading, then the crypto prices all go higher because their money isn't just sucked into the fucking
You can't save a degenerate. You can't save a degenerate gambler from himself.
You can. Hex literally does.
No, it
Hex
doesn't.
literally does. Yes, it does. It locks you in and gives you yield, and you can't get out.
You're not gonna get somebody who knows that they're the risk, like the people that are making 1,000% whatever, they know mostly what they're putting out. They know the risk they're taking.
You can't save everybody, but you can help some people. It's just like politics. Like you can't get most people to switch, but you can get some people to switch.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
it does work. It just
I
works at
agree with
like
that.
0.3x.
but you can just give them the information. It's up to them to decide, if they want to be what they want to do.
I mean, there's all kinds of there's more to life than just giving people. If you give people new things that they don't use, it's just more suck. Like if you were to teach me more diet tips, I'd be like, great, cool, thanks for the diet tips. I'm not going to use those ones either. I know a lot of other ones as well. Thanks. So what people need is actually more motivation and less education, usually. And so how do you do that? Social proof, branding, limited time offer. There's all types of tactics to get people to change their behavior that have nothing to do with education. I made a video on it. It's in my YouTube called.
Hey man, I've been a marketer for 25 years, so
Yeah.
I know.
So I mean, why
That's
are
what I
people like? Why do people? I mean, look, when most people get into crypto, they probably just buy the coolest looking logo. Like they're just like this one looks technological.
Maybe.
This one sounds
Maybe.
cool. Yeah.
I do think it's too much work, for me at least, to believe that I can pull some degenerate fucker out of some ridiculous smart contract thing in their Discord where they're mocking me for asking, do you have an admin key? They're a lost cause. Like, if they know the whole situation and they're still putting $10,000 in or even more, I don't care. Like, go and, sit in the casino and play a rigged game of blackjack. I don't care.
Right.
It's like, but the guy who's watching this conversation, who's like, shit, I didn't know that. Like,
Right.
he's the guy that I care about.
Yeah.
So like the rest of my if I spent my days and nights caring about them, I would have no energy left.
I hear
only, it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. And I learned this too. It's not just with crypto, it's with everything. With, people in your life who are depressed and who are, people who go through stuff in your life and sort of bring negative energy into your life. You can be a positive role model for them, or you can offer positive thoughts to them, but you can't take full responsibility for their behavior.
Well, the trick,
you can't let them drag you into the mire.
The trick is to meet their previous. So everyone wants to meet their needs, and people have a need for variety, a need for significance, a need for certainty. And there are people that are adrenaline junkies. They have a message me occasionally. They're like, "Hey, man, like, I was thinking about doing this or doing that. Like, what's something really exciting I could do? I'm getting bored." And I'm just like, I'm glad I don't have that mindset. I'm so glad I don't have that mindset.
I do. I have that mindset.
Oh, really?
I lived in Vegas for 3 years too.
That's rough, dude.
Before crypto. And yeah, man, I was gambled a shit ton. I have a gambling issue I did have a gambling problem down there.
I got lucky. I never
other
had
problems too. But like it's a thing, It's like people just want that dopamine rush, and they get it out of it. Now that the people who are plowing money into yield farming are the same people who would be on gambling sites and doing stuff like that. It's the same thing.
So my tip is that you could meet those same needs through a different behavior that has less side effects, right? So instead of some people, when they smoke, instead of smoking, maybe you get into chewing gum. Works for some people, doesn't work for everybody. Instead of stealing shit from people, you could do vandalism. Okay, these ain't ideal. These are not ideal. But vandalism is better than stealing people's shit, like tagging up a wall with your name and trying not to get busted by the cops. Yeah, you're going to get a fucking adrenaline rush. Here, hey, Richard Hart's advocating for the vandalism of property. No, I'm not saying you should do this shit, but I'm saying that if you have two shitty behaviors, there is a less shitty and more shitty to get the same rush like. And so basically you want to meet your needs in the healthiest way that you can, and then you'll find there's a lot of ways to have fun. There's a lot of different games you can play. Like, I used to be addicted to video games. Hard addicted. Wake up, play games until I couldn't stay awake no more. And now I'm addicted to a different game, which affects thousands and thousands of lives. So instead of being a part of someone else's narrative, now I'm the one generating the narrative. So now people are playing my game. So instead of me living in someone else's world, people are living in my world now. So I'm able to make the world a better place, And so I just upgraded my game, basically, Now I wake up and do HEX until I fall asleep, like. So and people don't understand the mind. Like, okay, this is funny. Like, I don't understand the degenerate or like adrenaline junkie mindset. I mean, I lightly do. I can empathize. But like, people don't understand my mindset. They're like, why don't you just quit? I mean, you're rich. Why don't you just quit? Like, why are you still, oh, you're going to fork Ethereum now? Like, why? Like, you're good. I'm like, no, man, I've been retired since 2003. I'm not in this. I'm in this sort of fucking glory. I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it to know I did the best I could. Because look at my life, man. It hasn't changed. Crypto goes up 10x, 20x in price. What's changed? I'm sitting in the same place, like.
So
okay, I got a $100,000 watch. I could have a $100,000 watch in 2003, like. Just the same shit. I'm saying that.
You're in this for principle, or are you in this
glory.
For ego?
Glory.
Ego.
Glory.
What's ego? Glory is ego, right?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
You want to be loved.
Yep. Yeah.
You want people to recognize you for your work. And you get pissed when they don't.
Yep. That's
Even
where I'm at.
if you don't really like them.
Sucks, doesn't it? It kind of sucks, yeah. Yeah, makes you grit your teeth. When I read Twitter, I grit my teeth. I'm like, I see people doing stupid shit. I'm like, oh, and you're if that's your mindset, like if you're gritting your teeth and you're reading some shit, you probably should stop reading it. Truthfully, like I should stop reading Twitter.
I agree.
It just makes me angry all the time. It's not healthy.
So what are you worth?
Me, $25. 25. I ain't worth shit,
25
man.
mil.
25 mil is not a lot of money these days, but it's really not.
Okay, we know it's more than that then.
I mean, like I was looking at Rob Report and I was looking at houses, and they're all really cheap actually.
Yeah.
Like the only expensive house is like this Bel Air one that's like 330 mil. It's on the top of this this place in Bel Air. It's like 140,000 square feet or something. That was expensive. And then Ralph Lauren's Bubble Palace in France, I think, was like 140 mil maybe. And then everything else drops real quick. Like I was looking at like the most expensive house per state. And then this dude in Texas has got one that's maybe like 200 mil. He was an oil guy. Can't remember his name, but it's like in the middle of nowhere. Tom Cruise is selling his house in Colorado for 14 mil, I think.
Okay.
And you're just like 14 mil. And that ain't shit in crypto, man. Like,
so this room, I've always wondered about this studio you're in. So this is like a room in your house?
Yes, this is my office.
Okay.
So I have a recliner there, and I have a throne here, and I have another throne there that if I have, you know, if I'm ever doing a 2-person interview, I'll stick it here and change my camera angle and stuff.
You have people come in there?
Very rarely.
Oh, okay.
Very, very rare.
Yeah, and what's in that cabinet over your left shoulder back there?
Keyboards. A shitload of keyboards.
Over your left.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Oh, this is just Swarovski crystals, like Swarovski giants.
Oh, okay.
So the top one's a turtle,
Quite a setup.
and then a swan, and then like an owl and a pineapple. They're like,
gotcha.
I think new, they're maybe like $6,000, and then like used, you get them for like $4,000 maybe, something like that.
Okay, a lot of bling. A lot of bling.
Well, it's nice because like this shit ain't going down in value. This shit ain't going down in value. Like I really, by the way, I don't even think this is the prettiest watch, but I like the fact that I'm going to make money instead of lose money. Like I care, you know. Like
that's not why you're wearing it.
Well, no, but I'm just saying like you could buy
Tell
one.
me why you're wearing it. You want people to know you got money. They
well,
want people.
I could just start publishing fucking ETH addresses, right? If I wanted to do that, right? That would be easier, wouldn't it?
You would never do that.
Hey, check this out. Like, you know.
But it's interesting to hear you say that you're in it. You're in this for the glory,
100%,
so to speak.
100%.
But that when you say that, that's what triggers the people who are in it for the tech, so to speak.
They're targeted.
What they say.
What use is unadopted tech? It's useless. Tell me
I'm
tell me the year of the Linux
side.
desktop.
I'm saying that's why you receive the.
Yeah, but I popularized the good tech
do.
before they do. I do a better job shilling Tornado Cash. I do a better job doing Uniswap. Like I'm out there shilling their bags. How many fucking MetaMask users have I on ramp personally through my effort? Like a lot. I'm pumping the fuck out of these disrespectful, ungrateful motherfuckers' bags. Like, come on, respect, you know? Or fine, you know what? You fucking lost your chance. I'm on my own chain soon. So like, you had your shot. You could have shown me some fucking respect that I earned and worked really hard for, but now I'm just going to do something better. Like, and it's better that way. Like the world is going to be a better place because I did that. So it's actually better. Like it's better that they weren't that nice to me because it drove me to be more. Like when the world shits on me, I just try harder. I don't disengage. Like
it just seems like you're torturing yourself.
Oh, that's true. Sure, 100%. Yeah.
You got to stop that.
Probably would help. Probably would help. Yeah.
It doesn't matter what they think if you know what you know about yourself, right? It's like
people say that I can't. It's not me. I can't do it. Look, it's like, how do you have this dichotomy of one? Most people would say that I'm like conceited or other words that mean like too full of themselves or overconfident or whatever, but like whatever the worst words are for those things. But then at the same time also care so much about what people think. They're like kind of opposites, right? But it's true, you know? Like I'm fat and old but rich and funny. Okay. They're both true, right? You know?
Right. That makes sense though, because the more they disrespect you, the more you want to try to gain their respect by
Well,
pumping yourself up.
Not their respect, but just like I'm setting up the game in that if you treat me well, you do well. If you treat me poorly, you do poorly. It's tit for tat game theory, basically. Mm-hmm. So when you decide to like, when Charlie Lee finally is like, hey, Richard, I'm sorry, bro. I see that you, one, developed a more unique idea than me. Two, actually did everything you said you would do. Three, didn't dump on your followers. Respect, bro. Then I'll be like, thanks, Charlie. I appreciate that, man. And I also see the value in an alternate proof of work of Bitcoin in case the original one gets fucked for some reason. Cool. Then we can be cool. But until I receive a fucking message like that, he's a bitch. That's it. Like, it's super easy, you know? And when he stops being a bitch, like CoinGecko, they're faggots until they start telling the truth and stop making money on scams. Energy. And then you're like, all right, well, then I don't have to talk shit about you anymore. You've upgraded yourself from unethical to ethical. Congrats, like, you know?
Yeah. It just takes so much energy, that way of thinking, don't you think? Like
it does.
Drains you.
But there's glory. There's glory in it. It feels good. When you win, it feels really good, you know? When I look on nomics.com and I see HEX in the top 20 at like $5 or $6 billion valuation, I'm like, yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. You know?
5 or 6 billion. That's the market
cap. I think
cap.
It's more. I think it's might be 7
so
billion now.
Your half is 3.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So you're a multi-billionaire. Okay.
It's 7.56 billion right now.
Have you ever sold any HEX?
I can tell you that if you do chain analysis, you will not find the origin address having publicly sold on market anything ever. In my channel.
But you must have had other. You had other addresses.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that HEX generated a lot of Ethereum?
What do you mean?
Well, Ethereum. Apparently, a lot of people sent Ethereum to HEX.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like received. Yeah. Okay.
Sure. So if you had founded a coin and you received two things: one, your coin that you put your pride and heart and soul into, or two, this other coin that you didn't, called ETH. Which one would you be more likely to sell?
The ETH?
Sure. So why would you ever sell your own coin, move the fucking price chart down when you could always feel good about a better looking price chart instead of this other ETH that's like whatever?
Okay.
And already did a 20x and is already like...
Right, because you got all the ETH for the other HEX. Okay.
So like I don't know why any founder would like sell his own shares, is particularly in a new... Shorts.
You're wearing something though, right? Okay.
Yeah, shorts.
I just saw lights.
Because these lights are hot. There's like 40
balls hanging out.
Halogen light bulbs here. Light balls, nice dude. You got me. 40 like halogen light bulbs. Christ. You got me to Freudian slip my own fucking. It's good shit.
Well, Jesus Christ.
So tell everybody about where they can find your stuff, man. Because you're like. You and I are some of the only voices actually trying to save these retarded fools from huge lose all their money risk, and they just don't listen. And it's just crazy to me. Like, we try and tell them about NFTs, they don't listen. We try and tell them about these shitcoin.
I don't think they're retarded fools, though. Mostly, like I think the people that I'm speaking to are like me when I was getting into it, like just trying to, and me still, like trying to, like sometimes I fall into traps of these projects that I don't even understand, and I'm like, let me give that a try, and then I find out, oh, that's bullshit. Like one is called ZK. There's a ZK Sync.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're following these layer 2 projects.
We made ZK Sync popular. We're the first people to do an airdrop on it, 240,000 cents. HEX made it popular.
Cool.
We were the first coin listed on it. It was an ERC20, I think.
And then I saw this ZKS token, and I was like, oh, that's theirs.
Nope. They don't have a token.
I looked up ZK, and I clicked on ZK Swap, and next thing you know, I'm putting ETH on ZK Swap. I'm like, and then I realized like and I look at the docs. I'm like, wait, this doesn't seem right. It's like
totally unrelated.
Chinese, and like, I'm like, okay. Then I realized, oh, get my money out of there fast. Yeah. So I fall into traps too. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I'm trying to figure it out.
So my
stupid stuff.
My take on this is, at the level that I'm playing at, there is nothing higher. So, if you do business and you like move fast and break things and you blow out, you're like, all right, I'll make it back in the next one. Cool. No big deal. Right. Mm-hmm. But once you're at the, like, you have invented money and your money could be worth $1 trillion. Like HEX could be worth $1 trillion one day. Bitcoin's worth $1 trillion now. HEX could be worth $1 trillion too.
Yeah.
And you're like, if you blow that out or fuck that up, there ain't no other bigger stakes game to like hop into, you know? Yeah. So like, I can't remember that betting tactic is where you just double your bet every time. Like, it's fucking
just like double or nothing.
No, there's this. So basically, like, if you had infinite money available to you, you could always win by just doubling your bet every time until you won and then quitting. And the way that doesn't work is that they introduce a max bet and you don't have access to infinite money. And so then you hit the max bet and you can't double anymore, and then you're fucked. So that it's called fuck, I can't remember what it's called. It pisses me off. I hate when I can't remember shit. Double bet. Yeah, it's called Martingale. So it's the Martingale system. It's stupid. You should never do it.
Okay.
But anyway, so like from my perspective, I don't care. It is more important to have no failures, and it is more important to do things right and maybe even go a little bit slower than to try and enhance yield. So for instance, let's say you start sticking money into like yield farming shit. If you get rug pulled once, you're forever negative forever. You'll never get back ever. So like if you split your stack, let's say you have like $100 and you split it across like 5 projects and you're getting like 7% average across all of them. Mm-hmm. So now you get rug pulled by one of the 5 because there's an error, a bug of some sort. So now you've lost 20% of your stack. So how much yield do you have to get on the remaining 80% that's left to make up for the missing 20% at 7% a year? You've got to be sitting there for like 4 years. And then during that 4 years, do those other things have problems too? And so if there's any chance of any rug pull or any problems at all, you're going to be lifetime negative trying to hunt this yield. And so it's super scary, super fucking scary to put money into smart contracts because you don't know what the fuck's, you know? So like,
I agree.
So everyone, like, you know, they deposited into BDP. Some guys did okay because they like pulled out early. Some guys didn't do okay. They didn't get any reward at all because the contract fucked them. And people were playing that game with billions of dollars of risk. I think they had like 7 billion assets locked. They're not locked. I hate that term. Asset total value locked. It ain't locked. It's not locked. You can pull it out whenever the fuck you want.
It's hardly ever.
It's just deposited is the correct term.
It's on ETH too, then it's locked.
Right. So like they put 7B into TVL on some shit that did have bugs in the contract. You guys are all retarded. That like you will eventually, that will bite you in the ass. And once you lose it once, you're out. Once you lose it once, you're out. Like you're talking about that harvest shit where they can just pull the funds whenever they want. You know, it's fun and games until they do. And then they do it. And then you're like, oh, you know, you'll never get your stack back. So, but as you age and as the size that you're playing with gets larger, you're just like, I ain't taking a hit. Like, not getting pulled, you know.
Everybody's got a different risk tolerance.
Well, yeah.
You can't expect everybody to have the same one, you know. It's it's going to vary. That's my whole issue I was saying before. It's like, as long as you understand and you decide to take the risk, spend your billion. Maybe you've got maybe you're dealing with 50 billion, you know, and one is not that much. Fine, man. Do your thing.
Can you imagine paying $20 million to have lunch with some guy to tell you you're a stupid scammer? You're like, damn, that's the shittiest bargain ever. And then you can't even do it because the government of China is like, yo, don't do it. And you're like, oh, my bad.
Oh, you're talking about Justin's son?
Yeah.
Are you talking about?
Yeah. He's like, I got kidney stones. I can't do it. But in reality, it's like, we'll put your family in jail. Like, you want to stop fucking around now?
What is that guy worth?
I mean, he was aped into that BBP shit for like $1 billion, maybe. He's probably worth a couple billion. I mean, maybe a few hundred million. He's hundreds of millions he's like 2 billion to maybe.
That should have
been like, man. I'm gonna guess 2 billion is my guess. Hey man, it's early days, man. It's early days. I mean,
I'm
what
a
is
little
Justin?
Concerned, man.
What does Justin's son have? He has a fork of ETH. Like, yeah, what am I gonna have? I'm gonna have a fork of ETH. Let's go. You know?
I think you might be in a little too deep.
What do you mean?
I emotionally, I feel like if
Huh?
anything goes wrong, with the project, or if anything ever doesn't work out the way it's supposed to, that you're so invested in it, like
No, but
emotionally.
we already have that now. Like we're gate kept everywhere. We're already treated like shit now. Like it just gets better from here. Can't really get worse. It's
I
already.
just worry about you.
Everyone's mean to us like now. Like you know.
That's not what I mean. I mean just bigger picture. Like if it doesn't work out the way you expect.
I think it's gonna be okay, dude. I mean, look,
it's not. I'm not worried about HEX. I'm worried about you.
I have the tools to deal with this shit. Like I've trained to be a life coach. Like I do have the tools to. I do better. Okay, let me put it this way. I am emotionally better off when things are going terrible. The worst time for me emotionally is when everything's going well, because my degrees of freedom are too many, and then I never feel like I'm doing the right thing because I have too many things I could do.
All right.
But when things are going wrong, then the right thing to do is very obvious. Then I do it. I feel good. I'm just like, yeah, I'm doing the best I can. So I feel much better knowing that I'm doing the best I can when things are fucked up than not knowing I'm doing the best I can when I have 20 degrees of freedom. Yeah. Does that make sense? So for me, emotionally, I actually feel really bad when things are going really well, which is weird.
Yeah.
You know,
that is strange. You're a sick person.
So the good news is that I don't have like hero syndrome where I'm trying to create problems. So I don't have that, thank God, you know?
Yeah.
Because there are people that do that. They're like, I feel good saving people, so let's fuck up this guy's medicine, so I have to do CPR on him to save him. Like, that happens. Like, nurses do that, you know?
That would be a big mess for you and for Hexicans, wouldn't it?
I think we're going to be all right, man. I think everything's looking good. I mean, have you seen the price chart? It looks good. I like it.
Yeah. Well, good luck, man. I mean...
Good luck. Yeah. So where can people reach you? Everybody should follow Chris.
Twitter, I guess. YouTube.
What's your Twitter? Is it just Chris Blec? BLEC?
CHRISBLEC. Yeah. And YouTube as well.
All right.
And I'm looking at how I can sell an NFT video. I don't know how to do that yet, but I'm going to sell one for millions soon. So if you want to buy that from me, stay tuned.
Go for it. You can't hurt by trying, I guess.
There was a guy in the New York Post today that's selling audio file of his farts.
He's got $8 for that, I think.
With the NFT. Yeah. So I figure if he can, I mean, I should be able to make at least $50.
Yeah.
Just
beware, like, I have a feeling that a lot of people participating in this game aren't considering their tax consequences. I just have a feeling. Just saying.
Welcome to crypto.
For you guys that might be watching that aren't following me, Richard Hart Win on Twitter, Richard Hart on YouTube. Like, subscribe, follow, click the bell, all that shit. No, really, actually do those things. Click subscribe and click like, click the bell, all that. Click all. And then hex.com, t.me/hex crypto. If you like my free self-help books, t.me/scivive, SCIVIVE.
Are we live now?
Yeah, we're still live, yeah. And we've been live 2 hours and 2 minutes.
Oh, I didn't know you started the stream.
You bitch, you. Yeah, that's it. Like, go follow us and fucking watch and enjoy the excitement. That's it. Anything else?
Sounds good to me, man.
All right.
Hey, man, buy me something with all that money you got.
Maybe I'll buy your fart video, dude. Let me know.
It won't be fart. Fart video. You don't want that.
All right, guys. See you later, everybody. See you in chat.